everyone. Welcome back to ESN. We're here at Kentucky Speedway for the AWSCO Windows Cup Series. It's 400 miles this time for the UPS Shipping and Logistics 400 here at Kentucky. We're in the studio here for the pre-race show. I'm joined here with Caleb. Hello there, Caleb. How are you doing?
I'm doing fine, Rasha. Thank you so much for having me
Yeah,
up in the booth for this one.
yeah. Caleb's doing a little bit of double duty here. He'll be at the booth for most of the race, and yeah, I mean Kentucky. This is basically a home race for you and your team. I know your drivers were part of the Continental race, of course, last night, and I'm sure hoping you managed to see how the racing was in that event. And yeah, I think it was really a really fun event in terms of racing wise. So in terms of the racing, lots of short and lots of a combination of short and long run racing throughout the race. And what do you expect from this race? I mean, this is a track you know pretty well, I think.
It's definitely going to be a very interesting race. Kentucky, of course, very wide, a very fast 1.5 mile racetrack, and yeah, definitely can produce some great racing, some and potentially some chaos as well, depending on what we might see out of all these drivers here tonight. But also, what has happened? Definitely looking forward to this, and it's going to be a very fun race.
Yeah, we saw quite a bit of that in the Continental race. The restarts can get very hectic around here, especially with cars sending it 2, 3, up to 4 wide in the turns. There's a lot of room to wiggle around in the turns, but there's not it looks like there's a lot of room to race around, but not all of that racetrack is really that usable, especially deep on the outside. There really isn't that much grip on those parts of the track, especially up in 3 and 4. That kind of part of the track gets a little bit slick, and there really isn't much grip out there to move around, I think. And we saw that a lot in the we saw that a lot in the Continental race. The evolution of the track. It seems that turns 1 and 2 are really pretty even. I'd say the outside has a slight advantage, but you can hang tight in the inside line. And if you can take it side by side to 3 and 4, that seems to be the way to go in terms of making big moves, because that inside line in 3 and 4 seems to be quite a way stronger.
Definitely, the inside is usually where you want to be here on this racetrack, especially through 3 and 4. But yeah, kind of like you touched on, as this race kind of goes along and some rubber gets put down, we could potentially see the middle outside grooves maybe start to put up a bit of a fight. But yeah, especially early on here in the going, that inside lane is where you want to be, and I think that's where we're going to see a lot of the shuffling coming from, especially in the early laps of this race. But it'll definitely be interesting to see who we do see up towards the front of this field once everything is said and done. And yeah, we'll just have to wait and see how this track develops as the race goes along. But I'm sure it's definitely going to change quite a bit from the drop of the green to the drop of the checkers.
Oh yeah, of course. We saw a lot of that even earlier on, I would say, in the Continental race. Cars were moving up and down the pack pretty early on in that first long green flag run. We saw cars move around from about 20th or so. Then at the end of, I'd say, a third of the race in, they were pretty much in the top 10, some even in the top 5, and we saw quite a bit of strategy games being played out as well, especially if we expect to see flurries of cautions. That's another theme we saw in the Continental races, that we usually get a few. Whenever we get a caution, there seems to be about 1 or 2 extra caution that come along with it, with the way the restarts work out in this track. So I think playing the strategy game around around expecting those cautions might also be a thing that we'll see. I'm pretty sure the Cup teams were taking notes about how the Continental race went, so they might be a little bit more prepared as to how to tackle that challenge.
Definitely, I think the race just yesterday can definitely give all these drivers a pointer or two. And yeah, it was definitely a very interesting race yesterday in the Continental Series. And yeah, we'll have to see if we maybe see a lot of similarities in this race. We'll have to just wait and see. But yeah, of course, got different cars, a different field altogether. So yeah, we'll just have to see.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I think similarly to the Continental Series, I think this is the third time we've been on a 1.5 mile track in the Cup Series. I mean, the first time around we were on a 1.5 mile track. We were at Las Vegas, a a similar kind of track, a little bit narrower, I would say, so not as much room to move around. That might have played a role in the amount of incidents we saw in that race. Although we could totally see the same kind of attrition, accident-related attrition that we saw in that race, carry over to the Cup race as well. That might be a thing to look around at. Similarly, in Texas, I think we saw quite a little bit of mechanical-related attrition. These races do tend to get a little bit long. Of course, Texas was a 500 miler, so I think that really played a role into the amount of mechanical problems we had late in that race. This is only a 400 miler, so I don't think there's going to be as much of a burden on the cars in terms of endurance as there was in that race, but I think we'll also definitely see we'll probably, I think, end up seeing some mechanical gremlins peak in, as we've seen in most races here. What do you think?
Oh yeah, I think we most definitely could, especially after what we've seen in the 1.5 milers we've had earlier on the season. Like you mentioned, Las Vegas, that was a very chaotic race, and of course Texas, we saw a ton of mechanical failures. We'll have to see if we see one, maybe both of those factors come into play tonight. We'll have to see, but I mean, it's in the same category as both Vegas and Texas, and Kentucky's still a lot different in its own regard. It's still, of course, a 1.5 miler at heart, so we'll just have to wait and see.
Yeah, and one more note with the way the racing is at this track, I'd say expect a lot of lead changes. We saw plenty of lead changes in the Continental race. I think it was the most in the entire series up to that point, with 53. If it isn't the highest, then it's certainly close to that. And I think we saw similar kinds of changing at the front, I would say, in the Cup race. I think the race at Texas had 90 or so lead changes. That one had a lot of changes and a lot of lap leaders and a lot of drivers lead a lap and a lot of changes within those drivers. And though that race also had a lot of strategy being played into that, I think that was something that played a role as well. We'll see if we see more of the same at this track. We did see quite a few long runs in the Continental race, and I expect to see a little bit more in this race as well with the Cup cars. Of course, they run a longer distance, and I'd expect these cars to be able to run a little bit longer, I think, just because just on the back of the experience some of these drivers have, I would say.
Yeah, definitely. And like you said, I think if we especially can get some long runs kind of hooked together, I think we definitely could potentially see a lot of swapping for the race lead, almost like a game of hot potato, because they like to kind of stay kind of bunched together here at this racetrack. So, like I said, especially if we can get a nice run in, we could definitely see a handful of lead changes here tonight. And yeah, I guess this race is kind of just about putting yourself in a good position late in the going to go for the race lead when it matters. But yeah, earlier on in the race, we'll kind of, I guess, establish who our contenders are by who we see out front. What's really going to come into fruition in the latter stages of this race when we see who will be fighting for the lead and who can maybe hold on to it for a little bit longer than others.
Yeah, we saw that in the Continental race at the end of at the very end there. I think we had about a 30 or so lap run where we had 4 cars just constantly trading the lead from each other, and that was a really fun little bit. I think lap traffic is going to play a role as well. If you're going to be running high that late in the run, you want to be able to move around lap traffic as efficiently as possible. That played a role in the Continental race, especially if you get some early wrecks. There'll probably be cars off the pace, and that's something to be looking out for, especially with just how important handling is at this track. You don't want to be caught in the wrong place at the wrong time.
Definitely.
And with that, I think we can take a look at our starting lineup here. Our front row consists of 1 Chevrolet and 1 Mercedes. At the 10 of Audie Stoneman and the 3 of Mimi Barrino. Stoneman, who's been there and thereabouts, I think, in the championship, and I was off to a pretty good run, I think, at Road America before a few mechanical gremlins, I think, took that car out of contention. But on the other side of that field, you have the number 3 of Mimi Barrino, who, I mean, this MBYW team have been qualifying really well. We'll see if they can finally get that race pace more locked down, because they just really haven't been able to get translate any of that pace from the qualifying sessions to the race. I mean, those cars seem to drop down quite a bit once the race gets underway. And I'll mention as well that her teammate Yania Waterton is starting on the outside of row 7 in 14th place. Is there anybody that's starting in the top 10 that's that catches your eye right now?
Honestly, I'm not quite sure who might catch my eye at this point until we kind of catch the green flag and see, I guess, see who all will be fighting up towards the front for this race lead. But yeah, honestly, I don't know. I guess I'll kind of start setting my picks in once we kind of see how everything will shake out.
Yeah, I think that's fair. I mean, yesterday you were looking at drivers beforehand, but we did neglect to mention a lot of the drivers starting out in the midfield, and that's who most of the contenders at the end of the race ended up becoming. It was cars that started out in the midfield, and I think focused a little bit more on that long run pace. And once those long runs started trickling in, that's when those cars really took advantage and were moving up the pack really quickly and found themselves in contention for the win. But of course, if you there's always a chance that a car up that's starting up front is just really, really good, and that's what we saw with the winner of the Continental race, the number 22 of Naomi Davenport, started up front, ran up front the entire race, and won the race. So we'll just have to see, I think, in terms of drivers. I will mention that Mauricia Vebels, the winner of the Vegas race, is starting on the inside of row 2 in 3rd place. That's a driver that's might be one to look out in the early stages, making aggressive moves up front. We met Mauricia, of course, is well known for being very aggressive in terms of her driving style, and I think aggression was aggression, if you put it in the right way, I think can really, really help you at this track. If you could make the right moves at the right time, it's that'll do you a world of good. I think restarts really do matter at this track in terms of moving yourself up.
Mm-hmm.
Taking a look at, let's see, at the rest of the field, I would like to check where our Texas winner was. Taylor Hapman, never been sitting outside of the with a win, but sitting about in the 21st in points. She's starting way out back in the outside of row 19 with some of the other drivers. Some of the other drivers that are kind of struggling for pace a little bit, at least on the shorter run. I also mentioned the 32 of Celia Rairston, of course, coming off those 2 wins and sitting 8th in the championship. She's starting out back as well on the inside of the last row. And let's continue looking around. Jocelyn Nihale, one of the Atlantic teammates over there, still leading the championship and is starting rather up front. So I think Atlantic cars are kind of spread out through the field. Jukovic is down the middle. Celia Rairston's out back. Arena and Nihale are starting near the front. So we'll see. Of course, Atlantic has been one of the strongest teams all season. Have most of their cars, I think, at least in the playoff fight. And looks like their cars are kind of starting all over the place in the field here. We'll see if they can continue to take advantage of their good runs as the season goes on here. I'll make another mention actually of Bria Delade, winner at Road America. Has 3 top 10s in her last 4 races. Looks really good at all types of tracks, starting in row 14, 27th, kind of in that middle of the field range. Maybe that's a team that was looking at long run pace and maybe trying to bet a little bit on the propensity of long runs to move her way up the pack. Caleb, what if you were setting up a car for this race? What would you focus on? Like with the way the handling is, how would you focus on making your car good at in terms of maybe long run, short run, maybe how you handle the turns?
Honestly, like I said, Kentucky, it's a very fast, very wide racetrack, so these drivers are definitely going to be ripping around this track. And honestly, I would really want to try and just get the car to stick to the track as much as possible without bottoming out too much, because if you can get that car kind of sticking to the racetrack to the inside groove, I think where a lot of the speedy cars are going to come from tonight. But of course, you don't want the car to bottom out. If that thing does bottom out, get loose and slide up the racetrack, that's not where the grip is, and that's probably going to slow you down in the long run. So yeah, I think you just going to try to grip the car up as much as possible without, like I said, getting it to bottom out too much.
Yeah, I think that's one thing that I think that'll be the final thing we mention, is just that This surface, of course, is a little bit old, and this track was dormant for a few years, so this is kind of the first time we're seeing this racetrack back in action for a while. It got cleaned up a little bit, but the racing surface is a little bit on the worn out side, and this track can get really bumpy, and that'll definitely test the suspension setup that these teams brought in. All right, and with that, I think we'll wrap up our pre-race show here, and send Caleb back over to the booth, unless he's already there now. And with that, we'll take you over there. It'll be Echo, of course, joined by Caleb, and we'll take you over there for the pre-race, the final pre-race preparations and the start of the race.
Yeah, and welcome here up in the booth. Caleb's arrived in his warp pipe up to the booth. Here we are in Kentucky. It's the Kentucky Speedway, this beautiful 1.5 mile facility located in, would it be apt to call this the heart of Kentucky? Because it's more like on the edge.
Yeah, it's kind of pretty far out west, I would say.
Yeah. So, in Sparta, Kentucky, about equidistant, I guess, between Louisville and Cincinnati. This beautiful facility, 1.5 mile facility, it's been around for a while. It's been dormant for the last few years, but AWSCO has brought cars back on this track, and we are about to go racing here from Kentucky in just a few minutes. So Adi Stoneman sits on the front row. Caleb, I mean, this is a home track for you. What do you know about this place? What do you think we're gonna see in this one?
Like I've kind of been saying in the pre-race shows, is a very fast, very wide 1.5 mile racetrack, and I think we are definitely going to see a lot of action here tonight. These drivers are going to be absolutely ripping it around this racetrack, and we can often see quite a lot of 3 and even 4 wide if the conditions arise. So, yeah, I think we can definitely expect some great racing here tonight. Could definitely expect a lot of passing, especially potentially for the race lead if we can get a good, nice long run in. But could also throw in the possibility for some chaos as well, and seen a little bit of that so far this season, especially at these 1.5 mile racetracks. Of course, Vegas was a pretty chaotic race. We had Texas as well, and honestly, I don't know if we might expect much different here from Kentucky. I'm definitely expecting potentially quite a bit of chaos here. In what form, we'll just have to wait and see, but yeah, regardless, I'm definitely looking forward to this race. It's going to be a lot of fun here from the Kentucky Speedway.
Well, if you're one of those people that focuses on lead changes being the sole defining statistic of the race, the Continental race yesterday set a record number of lead changes in that series. It had 53 over the 200 laps of that race. It'd be a pretty tall task to eclipse that here today, to eclipse the Cup record. Today, Texas had 90. That's the record there, and we have 100 less miles to play with if we're going to beat that here. So, but this track has had a history of producing high lead change events. Obviously, Kentucky in the Angstneck series produced a 101 lead change race. So, if you're one of those people that likes when that big number goes up, there it is. All right, here's your starting grid for the... What's the name of this race? I already forgot it. Sponsors are going to kill me for this one. The UPS Shipping and Logistics
UPS.
400.
Yeah.
Row 1, it's Adi Stoneman on the pole, alongside Mimi Barino, second this week, second last week from starting position. She was able to take the lead off the jump last week and held it all the way until she ran off the track and into the tire barriers and ended her day at Road America. Row 2, it's the 99 Marisha Vebelst, alongside the 93 Irina Tosima. 2 teammates there, 2 drivers that have won races this season. Vebelst in Vegas and Tosima in Phoenix. They're looking to try and hunt down ERR's 49th win. Row 3, the 22 of Andrea Davison and the 34 of Mika Harina. Row 4 is the 64 of Jocelyn Nihale and the 91 of Alicia Byrne. The points leader, Nihale. Row 5, the 19 Arlen Hanstrom winner back at Bathurst, and the 6 of Jamie McJasmine, who scored her first top 10 last week in Road America. Row 6, the 21 Amani Wandayo and the 60 of AWSCO. Row 7, it's the 16 Skya Jetta and the 13 of Yania Waterton. Still looking for her first top 10 of the season. Row 8 is the 26 Sophie Chantosay and the 96 of Angeli Riccatino. Row 9, the other driver still looking for their first top 10 of the year, Dira Reister in the 17. She's alongside the 82 Pace Laniria. Row 10, the 62, Halas Jukovic, and the 1 of Valicia Vancy. Row 11, the 71 of Abby Little, and the 27, Nietzsche Garnston. Row 12, the 42 of Mika Gennaro, and the 72, Janet Parkings. Row 13, the 18 of Perry Alicantes, and the 46 of Yenfi Yanaga. Row 14, the 55, Bria Delad, winner last week in Road America, and the 38 of Youngwei Ku. Row 15, Pocono winner Lily Talberson, and the 20 of DeGabi Abriella. Row 16, the 23, Yappy Malikson, and the 2 of Isa Javida. Row 17, the 9 of Carly Byrne, and the 98 Eva Jarsaraj, winner at the other race you called, Caleb Willow Springs. Row 18 is the 8 of Lowry Schliesenbach, and the 15 to Rizia Tolerone. Row 19, the 52, Rachel Cole.
Start your engines!
And the 31, Taylor Happeman, winner back in Texas. And row 20, the 32, Cindy Rariston, two-time winner this year. And the 92, Michele Yatica. All right, you got a brief amount of time to hype this race up. What do you have to say?
Well, like I said, get ready for some really fast-paced action and a lot of moving around this racetrack. It's definitely got the room, too, so we could see a lot of shuffling, especially here early on. And this is going to be a fun one. That's all I can really say. But, oh boy, here we go.
Don't be surprised if the drivers on the front row aren't even in the top 10, as the one car has had an issue already, and we haven't even dropped the green yet. Well, here we go. We are green flag racing from Kentucky for everybody in the field except for Valicia Vancy, who's not gotten off the grid, and she's down pit road already. They're going 3 wide for the lead already.
Yeah, already starting to see it here. 3 wide for the lead. Coming through 3 and 4, Bebelst is going to be able to hold on for the time being, looking to lead lap 1, trying to hold off of her teammate there in the 93. But Bebelst would definitely be a car to potentially watch out for here in this race course. She won at the Las Vegas Motor Speedway, if my memory serves me right. So, you know that Bebelst knows how to get it done here on these 1.5-mile tracks, as the one car there coming out of the pit lane after running into trouble just coming off of the grid. Really tough break there for them.
Yeah, really unfortunate there for Vancy.
Oh.
But if there's a caution and she can get, if she can get a caution here fairly quickly, she'll be able to get the free pass to get back on the lead lap, and it won't cost her too much. Vebelst holds the lead though. It's a Mercedes 1-2-3. Well, it was a Mercedes 1-2-3 last time by the line. 99-3, 93. Make up the top 3 spots.
I get it back here.
Yeah, they'll get it back. They'll be battling for second while getting it back, but they'll get it back.
Back to a Mercedes 1-2-3, but
here comes Stoneman.
Through the middle goes the Tenna Stoneman. And it's going to take the 3rd position back away. Seeing a pretty great scrap here for the final spot here on the podium. And it looks like kind of throughout the midfield there. Right now it's a horse nest, and I think I heard somebody spinning down the backstretch. Oh!
Schliesenbach, hard hit. No caution.
Is that going to be a... No caution. Wow,
and we stay green. Shocking. But the 8 of Lowry Schliesenbach evidently had... I think she may have made I think somebody may have made contact with that 8 car down the back straightaway. Yeah, you see the tire marks down there. So
oh yeah.
Somebody has obviously hooked her into the inside wall, and well, I guess I can see why that's not a caution, because she's able to get it back down into the infield here, but I'm a bit surprised, considering we saw, what was it, yesterday there were multiple cautions under the pit cycle because of cars that just barely spun or just barely stopped on the track. And how about the 6 car, McJasmina?
Oh, here comes McJasmina, excuse me, looking for the 3rd position. I think she started about midfield there in that 6 machine. She's already looking for the 3rd position, and looks like she's going to be able to clear, and she's just barely going to slot in front of the 10, but they're going to cross her over. As we go into 3 and 4, trying to hold that inside lane, but McJasmina gonna be able to hold on to the outside and stay clear for the third position, as honestly, they're kind of starting to spread out just a little bit. Everyone's kind of single filing out a little bit here as we come to lap number 8 here at Kentucky.
Yeah, very interesting race so far. McJasmine came from, I believe she started back in 10th. She actually what we're seeing here is that the outside lane is kind of holding a little bit better than we saw yesterday in the Continental race in 3 and 4. In 1 and 2, the outside lane would get better and be the better lane after a little bit into the run. Here we're seeing the outside lane, well, the outside lane is a little stronger in 1 and 2 right from the get-go. And in 3 and 4, it can work. You gotta run it right, but you can make the outside stick a little bit better in 3 and 4. They're battling for second right now as Barrino fights with McJasmine for that position. And the more they battle, the more Marisha Vebels loves seeing that in her rearview mirror as she continues to lead this race.
Vebels has dominated this race so far, got the lead on the opening lap, and has not really looked back since as she currently tries to hold a steady lead, about almost 0.4 of a second there back to the 3 of Mimi Barrino for the time being. But we still got a lot of battling here going on inside this top 10. You've got the 93 there. That is
Tosima.
Rena Soma trying to go after McJasmine there, but it looks like McJasmine is going to try and go back for second here.
I think Jasmine is going to have the better run here off of 2. And I need another thing I think worth pointing out, 64, Jocelyn Nihale. Remember she came in the points leader? She's already up in the top 10. Well, she's going to lose that 10th spot right now because the 96 and 91 are about to go by. But and there's the driver who has that hometown sponsor, I guess. UPS based out in Louisville. They're sponsoring the race here, actually. I think she'd like to do them proud for this one.
And of course, going into this race with a lot of momentum with the win.
Yeah.
At Road America.
Jasmine clears.
A lot of shuffling going on here.
Jasmine cleared the 3. She's starting to close on the 99 just a little bit. The 93 is up to 3rd. The 3 battling the 10 for 4th. We might see Stoneman try and fight that one off. We see Shanta Say and Davison battling back here, battling for 6th. Yeah, it's very interesting because the high lane in 1 and 2 definitely a lot stronger from the get-go here.
Yeah, we're really seeing that outside lane kind of rubber in a lot earlier than we thought it would.
Yeah.
And honestly, everyone's kind of settling in, I think, a lot earlier than I thought they would as well, because, you know, everyone is kind of just single filing out for the time being, apart from a couple battles going on here kind of towards the front and middle of this field.
Whoa.
But, oh boy.
That was...
Seeing a lot of aggression, though, early on in the going still.
I don't know if that was contact between Shanta Say and Stoneman, but it all looked awfully like contact. We may have a fight for the lead here soon. The 6 is prowling down on the 99, though. And Jami McJasmine, who pretty recently attempted to qualify for the Lumen 500. She obviously wasn't able to make it, but I think she's hungry. She looks to the inside for the race lead.
And they get to the quarter panel as they come down the front straightaway here. Going to be side by side across the line and going into turns 1 and 2. We'll see if Vebels can maybe hold it on the top. But McJasmine, I got a really good run there on the bottom, and they stay about level there. Coming off of turn number 2, that was a great corner by both of them. They're going to stay side by side here coming into 3 and 4, and this could honestly draw a couple cars behind them in.
Wow, great job on the outside of the 99.
Still stay side by side here down the front straightaway. McJasmine's going to get the edge here at the line, but Vebels not letting her clear quite yet.
Yeah, first lead change of the day,
Jasmine might finally get her here.
First lead change of the day, lap 17. I'm not sure if many people expected that, especially considering how the Continental race went yesterday, but we might see one right a lap after, because here goes the 99 crossing her over.
Great move there. My Vebel's going to immediately cross McJasmine over there.
Here comes Tosima.
And is going to take the lead back. Here comes Tosima in the 93 now, peeking to the inside. Battle for the lead right now between the two Evans Ross Racing cars, and Tosma's trying to stay on the quarter panel of Vebels there. Coming off a turn number 2, but Vebels got a good run there on the outside and is going to stay in the lead here for the time being.
Our 9 car is clearly pretty fast. I mean, obviously she won back in Vegas. I wonder if they may have brought the same car they won with in Vegas, because well, the 99 just looks very fast. That one driver that we saw able to challenge her, McJasmine, held it for not even really a lap, and then Vebels crossed her right back over and took it right back.
How about the 55 been making their way through the field here since we last saw them?
Yeah, Delade is battling for the 11th spot with Arena. See a lot of cars making up ground on the outside lane, which not something I think a lot of us expected, but in 1 and 2 especially, I think the key thing in 1 and 2 especially we saw yesterday in the Continental race, if you can clear off of 1 and 2, you can you'll have a great run down the back straightaway, and you'll drive away from the car. You'll drive away from the car behind that's trying to take the spot on the inside. You'll see the 6 here going to try and do exactly that. But if you can remain level down the back straightaway, usually that's a sign that the car on the inside has a bit of an advantage, just because of how turns 3 and 4 end up going here usually. We might see a fight for second as McJasmine looking underneath Tosma.
I think so far Vebels undoubtedly probably has the car to beat, especially here early on in the run, but McJasmine might probably be that 99's best challenger here so far as she looks to try and take that second position back away. Of course, we saw Vebels pretty much cross McJasmine right over as soon as she got the race lead, but we have seen that McJasmine can close in and pass Vebels, which is something that not everybody else can say, as Shuma there went really wide there through 1 and 2, and it's going to lose a couple of spots here.
She went way up the track. That's a lot further up the track than we've really seen them go. I think just the track... I think the track just hasn't really rubbered in up there quite yet. NordVPN fastest lap of the race right now belongs to the 91 Alicia Byrne. She's sitting back in the 12th position right now. 28.141 for that 91 car.
We've got a lot of these drivers that kind of started right outside the top 10 to about middle of the road, kind of making their way up towards the front, like that 60 machine, the 55, the 91, and the 34. All kind of making their way here inside the top 10 and are starting to pass a lot of these cars that started up here inside of the top 10. So I definitely watch out for a lot of these gals.
If you're wondering about what happened on the 1 car, we are actually still working to get information as to why she came to pit road before the drop of the green. And here we go. 6 car looking for the lead once more. There's a battle for 3rd back behind. There's a battle for 5th back here. There's a good few battles going on here. McJasmine are trying to take this lead spot away from Vebels, though. 99 strong early, but how long can she keep that?
I have to see if maybe that car does kind of fall off a little bit as the run goes along. It isn't really showing much signs of slowing down at the moment, but still staying side by side here with the 6 of McJasmine. Almost kind of shades of the first battle that these two had. Back into turns 1 and 2. They're going to remain side by side, door to door here as they go down the back straightaway once again. Going into 3 and 4.
Vebels in 3 and 4 is the only car I've seen that's been able to roll the top consistently. She's the only one that's been able to hold her line on the top and stay to the outside consistently. She's done it twice in a row there. Now she slides way up, though. She's going to lose second now because of that as well. And McJasmine has the lead, but here comes the 93 of Tosma now looking for the race lead.
Now for the first time today, Vebels is going to be in a little bit more dirty air than and that's probably used to, so we'll see how it handles here. But so far, it still looks like that 99's got a lot of speed, is already trying to go back after that 93 for the second position. We got a lot of cars moving up here. You got the 60, the 26, the 96, maybe trying to make their way up here into the top 5. A lot of new faces kind of showing themselves here up towards the front as we kind of start to get into probably about the middle stage of this run.
Rasha, do you know what's up on the 1?
Yeah, I've been with the crew of the one team here. They're looking at those tires, and I think that they suspect that there might have been some sort of small puncture on one of those tires, because the handling on the 1 was not entirely up to snuff on the warm up and the up to the grid there. They suspected they might have something issue, and they just brought it in to get the tires changed to get a new fresh set on that they know doesn't have any issues. And so far nothing. So far they haven't had anything happen on the 1 since then. It's just interesting to note that they suspect they had a puncture on those first set of tires that they started the race with.
That's very tough, and I'm very unfortunate for Felicia Vancy, who needs those points. She needs points to get up towards the cut line because she's 24th. She came in 30 points back of the cut line. Obviously, I know maybe it's a little early to start talking about getting in the playoffs, but it is reaching that point in the season where see, the 93 really drove it deep, but it is reaching that point in the season where that's going to be something that's going to start being talked about, is the run into the playoffs. You know, if you can win, obviously that completely removes that worry. But outside of that, I mean, that's something that you're trying to maximize all the points you can get every week, pretty much.
Definitely, the chase is definitely a very big talking point, especially as we get later and later in the season and closer to that cut line. And yeah, definitely a bit of a blow there to the number 1, but we got another battle heating up here for the race lead as Vebbels looking to try and get back down to the inside of McJasmine. The 92's come down the pit lane.
I'm not sure what's...
Probably with an issue.
That does not look scheduled. The fuel window is about 66 laps here, so... You know, that's well before the pit window would have opened, so we'll have to follow up on that. Rasha, what's up?
Yeah, big handling problems on the 92. Michele Yatsuko was complaining that car was just not turning at all. They suspected that might have been some sort of suspension part that wasn't acting quite right. So they took a look under the hood there and just took a little bit of an extended pit stop just to get everything looked at, and they didn't see anything in particular, but that needed replacing, I should say. But they were able to get under the hood and tweak a few bits to the setup, and I think that things might be a little better now for the 22. But that's a early pit stop for that team, definitely.
Well, Vebbels took the lead. McJasmine is trying to take it back, but it's literally only been these two leading that have led this race, which, I don't know, this early in the race, I'm a little surprised that we've only seen 2 different leaders this far into the race. But it's still been pretty exciting so far to watch these two fight it out.
These two have had some really fun battles here for this race lead, and honestly, it looks like they might be heating up for another one here, as McJasmine tried to look down at the inside there to turn 3, but Vebbels kind of shut the door there on entry, took McJasmine's line away, and is going to hold on for the time being. He got the number 60 here up in the 4th position. That's AWSCO. That 60 is definitely looking fast, as is the 55. We were talking about this 55 earlier. Like I mentioned, coming in this race with a lot of momentum with that win at Road America, and of course, the sponsor on that car is the title sponsor of the race, and looking pretty sporty here so far.
Yeah, 55 looks pretty good, as does her teammate, Angeli Rigatino in the 96. AWSCO, I guess she's kind of hometown. I guess this is kind of a home track for her. She's from Illinois, which, I mean, it's not Kentucky, but it's kind of close.
Yeah, I guess considering the location of the track, it's kind of close.
It's kind of close. Not like ultra close, but it's kind of close. I don't think there's anybody from a closer place. Unless I'm like totally blanking on who's from where.
Honestly,
Yeah, I think
yeah,
so.
I think so.
I believe so. And Vettel still leads. Pretty well single filed out. They've just single filed it out for so far for now. But I'm not sure if it'll stay single filed out like this for very long. I think that's something that, you know, I talked about this yesterday. But this way this track kind of goes is they'll kind of stretch out, and then someone will start battling with somebody, and it'll bring everybody right back together. And it just kind of does this kind of on a 25 lap cycle. They'll just kind of stretch out a little bit, and then it'll squish right back in, kind of like an accordion. This kind of thing happens in California at the California Speedway as well. So very interesting to see how this race has. Very interesting to see how this race has gone so far. So you have a move for third. There's AWSCO going off for that spot from Tosima. McJasmine has been looking on Vebbles for quite a while, but she just can't pull the move off.
Like Tosima got a little bit tight there through 3 and 4, kind of slipped up the racetrack a little bit, letting AWSCO get to the inside of that number 60, and side by side still here for the third position. And I'm sure Vebbles and McJasmine are definitely loving this and are wanting these two to stay side by side for as long as possible, because that's letting them pull away a little bit from the rest of the field here. Looks like they're going to stay side by side, at least momentarily here, coming down the front straightaway. But it looks like AWSCO finally going to clear.
Oh, 93's in the wall.
In the wall.
I think she
goes
tried
to 93.
I think she tried to get a little too much out of it, and that's going to cost her quite a bit.
Honestly, it might have even also looked like AWSCO might have kind of squeezed the 93 into the wall there, going into turn 1.
Yeah, I think it's just a little bit of arrow and a little bit of just trying to get a little too much. Here comes McJasmine once more.
And again, these two battling have been so fun to watch here so far.
And I think we may see some more cars jump into this battle just because the 55's starting to move her way up here. The 60's been moving. Yeah, the 10's still up here, so the 96 has managed to make some moves. The 42, Make a Gennaro, has gained quite a bit. So McJasmine holds the lead at the line. And I believe she's going to clear, not quite. Not quite yet off the corner.
Going to stay trying to protect that inside lane, and I think looks like
Finally.
they are finally going to clear here through 3 and 4, and here comes the 55.
This
Here
might be the
comes
car.
Maria DeLon.
This might be the car that I think is that next challenger for the lead. Delata's been flying through the field. Started decently far back. I think she was 27th at the start of this race. Managed to make her way up all the way up to second spot, and now she might go for the lead on McJasmine here fairly soon. Delata can go back to back. That would be something impressive. It would give Dark Horse Racing actually the lead in terms of team wins.
McJasmine goes a little bit wide there through 1 and 2, but hangs on for the time being. But 55 kind of all over the back bumper of McJasmine, and here as we go back into 3 and 4. Vebbles looking to try and take that third position back away.
She's got it.
Had a lot of looking to try and find any way around the 6, and McJasmine is going to take a peek to the inside. Here we go.
She got a great pull through 1 and 2. Great drive through the corner there. 6 is going to get the run
probably
off.
Cleared there already.
That was an impressive drive through the corner by Delata, and she's going to be out front now. The 55 to the race lead, and the winner last week is the leader this week here on lap 50.
Devils back by McJasmine there for a second, and Six might have had to check up a little bit there as here comes the 60 AWSCO. Looking to also try and take that spot away.
93 of Tosima appears to have come to the pit road after that after she made contact with the wall. It looks like they just that contact was a little too much, and she had to come down pit road to get that knocked out.
Didn't look like that hard of an impact, but she was kind of riding along that wall for quite a bit of time, so undoubtedly probably beat up the right side of that machine.
Probably it could have punctured a tire as well.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure that seeing the 99 in your rearview mirror is not a sight that is appreciated by many. But Vebelst is closing back in on Delod here.
Good run here to the inside, trying to take it to the inside here as we head into turns 3 and 4. And oh yeah, Vebel's going to send it down to the inside. And they're going to be side by side here going through 3 and 4.
She's got it.
And Vebel's going to take it.
Clear.
Pretty much just like that. And here comes the 60 of AWSCO. And how about this 42 of Meca Janeiro?
Yeah.
Honestly, kind of just popped up out of nowhere here in the 4th position. But, I don't know, that 42 looks pretty fast, honestly.
She's just got by her teammate there. The 6 car and 42 are teammates. So, obviously, Southwest has brought a pretty solid setup for this race. 42 and 6 both looking very competitive so far. 46 still kind of trying to work her way up through the field, but she's in 17th right now. Our other car in Jetta's kind of sitting back in 23rd. Obviously, you know, we talked to Jetta lately, and she's kind of said she's still dealing with a little bit of the pain that she's suffered from because she had that back injury at Fontana. But she says that hopefully that she'll be able to get everything set back up as the 99 has come down the pit road. 55 laps. This is about where I expected them to come in. Vebelst, early pitter here. Very early here, actually.
For a bit of an undercut here.
Nobody else is coming in as the 60 is now battling the 55 for what is effectively the race lead.
Imagine Vebel's coming in is definitely going to draw a lot more cars in, though.
42's in.
And, yep, 42's in.
26, 3. Looks like the 22's come down. The 52 going to be
52.
very tight. She made it. She made it down. Barely, but she made it.
That's something we kind of forgot to touch on. Kentucky has a very aggressive pit lane entry.
Yeah, it's very difficult to get down on the pit road. I kind of expected to see some cars that would miss the pit lane and just go straight through the grass, but we never saw that yesterday in the Continental race. So maybe these drivers have been able to tone it down a little bit. Delod, Stoneman, Harina, all down the pit road. Looks like it's 4 tires and fuel for pretty much everybody here. I'm losing track as to where the leader is, so. Wesco's going to come in here, and so is McJasmine. The 6 is going to follow her. Ooh, the 91.
Oh, that's an overshoot.
That's pretty bad. That's an overshoot.
Yeah.
Shockingly, the only one we've seen all weekend in an actual race. We did see it happen in practice a few times. Is the 17.
17.
Got spun.
Sideways in the pits.
17 might have got spun through her pit stall, and I think that she might have to come back around and come back down the pit road.
I don't know who it was that might have ran into her.
32 of Rariston appears to have stayed out an extra lap to lead, such that she could lead an extra lap. So the 93 of Tosima, who pitted a little early, I believe is actually going to end up... Either she'll cycle out as the leader, or she'll cycle out like way behind everybody. Well, in the Continental race yesterday, there was two green flag pit cycles, and both of them got interrupted by a caution. So sure these drivers would rather that this race doesn't get interrupted by a caution under the pit cycle. Looks
Clean
like,
and green so far, knock on wood.
yeah, it looks fine for now. Obviously, the key word in that one is for now. And
Yeah.
there's where the cycle is. The 99 out front. 42 and 26 have moved up to second and third position. So, pretty solid for those two. Delod slips back to fourth. McJasmine is fifth. Harina sixth. Stoneman, Barino, Davison, and Rugatino. As there's a couple cars that are waiting a little extra on pit road. The 60.
Oh, I think that's WESCO.
That's the West. Yeah, that's Wesco and Yuria as well.
Wonder if one of them could have maybe been the car that ran into the 17.
Sounds like the 82s is there because of a mechanical issue. Yeah, the 60 is still stalled on pit road. That is very unfortunate. Maybe everything has just got a little messy in her pit box and they couldn't get her released, and now that's costing her multiple laps. She's already scored 4 down. 82's back out on track.
That thing doesn't sound the best.
No, it doesn't.
Oh boy.
Racho, what's up?
Yeah, it was a misfiring cylinder on the 82. They're sending her back out now to do some evaluation laps. That car doesn't look particularly quick. We'll see what the team does from here, but yeah, it was some sort of engine problem on that 82. They were under the hood for quite a bit to try to evaluate and to diagnose and fix the issue, and they've made some changes to it, but it doesn't look like the car is particularly fast right now. Maybe it's just taking some time to get up to speed. We'll have to see.
As opposed to yesterday, this has been a terrible day for Ubermont Enterprise, and we're only about 60 laps in. Because the 82, obviously, with engine problems, and now the 8 car, and the 8 car obviously wrecked out in the first few laps. The leaders have all kind of bunched back together. Vebelst, Delod, Gennaro, Chantose, and McJasmina, all up here. They're all in this group together, but they're going to catch that 82, and that 82 is going to be annoyingly slow.
Oh, look out. Oh yeah, that 82 definitely struggling with the pace of that car after that engine issue. Still not quite getting up to speed as, ooh, that got a bit close there between the 82 and McJasmina there. And I think we got a caution.
Caution is out. Caution is out. I thought I saw the yellow lights. Looks like it might have been the 22 of Andrea Davison involved.
At least they saved it until after the pit cycle.
Yeah. I'm sure that a lot of people are glad about that one. So about 60 some laps we went under green here. We'll go ahead and have a look at what happened, but I just think that some of these cars are going to come to pit road first. Yep. Looks like everybody's going to come down. Well, the 82 is going to stay out, but the 82 just pitted. 46 of Yanaga is the free pass.
I think we might still have a couple of cars staying out. Oh no, the 91's a lap down.
91's a lap down, but I believe the 39 is lead lap. So yeah, the 39
Yeah,
is choosing to stay out.
Interesting.
So yeah, I believe Lily Talberson's gonna take a little bit of a gamble, stay out here, see if you can make a little bit of strategy work here. Four tires looks like. It's gonna be tied off pit road. 42.
Ooh.
I believe the 42's got it.
Get it.
Raisha doesn't want to accept it, I guess, but it should be Gennaro who who won the race out of pit road.
Well, Mauricia never change.
I don't think she would, even if she was ordered to. There goes the 42. Now she's gonna take the
There
spot.
we go.
All right. Well, 22 Andrea Davison appears to have been involved in whatever that was. Sounds like they have retired that car from the race. Oh, yeah.
Oh, that'll do it.
Yeah, that would do it. Rushy, do you know what happened?
Not particularly, other than the engine gave out, and well, the teams are obviously looking at it in the garage right now and gonna tear the engine down as a. That was a close call, by the way, by the 60 of AWSCO. That was almost a much bigger incident. But yeah, this was obviously going to be a caution because the 22 was slow on the racing surface, and yeah, team don't really know exactly what gave in on that engine, other than it is not going to go out again.
Let's go back and see what happened to Schlesenbach. This did not bring out a caution. So they're 4 wide. Oh, the 92 just gets into her.
Oh!
That might be where the 92 suspension issues came from.
It could be.
I'm surprised that
is a
nobody
hard
else.
hit.
I'm surprised that nobody else slid up into the into the track. So yeah, it looks like everybody who pitted that time, everybody who was a lap down, came down pit road once more. Top up on fuel. Little strategy. Oh, the 34. She's made a.
Something just happened.
That's
Something big.
That's a bit sudden. She dove down the pit road very late. Drove through the grass to get there. All right, well, here is the order as we run. 68 laps are complete. We're about to complete lap 69 as we are about to get the restart here. Talverson stayed out on this caution. She is on about 10 lap older tires than the rest of the field. Behind her, that's Gennaro, Vebelst, Chantose, Delade, McJasmina, Alacantes, Barino, and Jetta, and Coop that make up the top 10. Russia, do you know what's happened to the 34 of Harina?
Yeah, 34 team didn't get one of their tires attached all the way in. I think one of the wheels must have been loose, and they just kind of made that call last minute to come in. And right now, I think they'll filter into the back of the field, but I don't think they've lost a lap. So a bit of a setback for that team, but they should be good to go now.
She'll actually line up behind the 46 of Yanaga, and
This ought to be interesting.
oh, 32.
Oh, the 32.
32 is also dove down pit road.
Is that
Right, as
another
we're about
loose
to go
wheel,
green,
maybe?
too. And that's Harina's teammate, actually, as well, so.
Oh, it is a pit stop disaster class for that team.
Okay, I'm just going to do that to make sure that she doesn't get penalized. 42, Gennaro looks to the inside on Talberson for the race lead. Any cars came down pit road? The one car looks like had to serve a penalty for jumping the restart. I think that might have been because the 82 is so slow off the jump that she passed the 82 to the inside.
Kind of stuck between a rock and a hard place there.
Yeah, not much she could have done, but unfortunate that it's going to cost her, and that's going to cost her probably another lap here. As Talberson fights back on Gennaro. 39 car trying to take the lead back. They're going to be 3 wide here for third. McJasmina, Vebels, and Delot fighting for that third spot. They get really tight entering the corner. Best off out of that is going to be the 99.
Way up the track. Goes the 55.
6 car. Give a little bit of a door tap to the 26 there. Here comes the 42, looking to the inside on Talberson.
No, it was just a couple of laps between the pit cycle and the caution coming out, but still, Talberson doing a really good job here at holding on here with these older tires.
Yeah, tires are older, but they're not that much older. We saw Abby Buchanan do this yesterday in the Continental race. She used a little bit of strategy because of when a caution came out about 10 or so laps after everyone came to pit road. She stayed out. She actually was able to hold up towards the front of the field for most of the race, and she actually ended up getting a top 10 out of it. So, you know, if you can get that cycle to work in your favor, if you can stay out a little bit and you can stay up front a little bit and take advantage and when everybody comes back down pit road and get some fresh tires and get on the same tire cycle as everybody else, that'll really help. That will help you quite a bit. As the caution is out, we have a big crash.
Oh,
it's
boy,
Ijavida. Harina's in it. Harina.
Oh, no.
Rachel Cole. Looks like Abby Little was involved.
Big crash.
Major incident. 34 launched up into the air. And you have to wonder if they hadn't had that loose wheel, that wouldn't have happened. Actually, do you know what happened to the 32?
Yeah, it was a flat tire on the 32 of all things. Nothing to do with the nothing to do with the 34, oddly enough. But yeah, certainly a bit of a messy pit cycle for the Atlantic cars, and well, the 34 didn't exactly 34s didn't exactly go very much further as you now start seeing cars filtering down pit lane for pit stops. But yeah, that was a tire down on the 32. We can confirm that's what happened, and that's why they came in last minute there. Just gotta change the tires really quickly there for that team.
Well, we'll watch the pit stops, and after everyone comes out of pit road here, we are going to take a look and see what happened in that incident, because that was it was spectacular, to say the least. 42 will win the race out. 99. 38 actually will jump up a couple positions. Looks like the 39 dropped a fair bit. I think a fair few of these cars just took right sides, with the exception. I think the 39 might have taken 4 tires, and that might be why she lost a little bit of position, but alright, well, let's see what happens to the 34 here. There's a big incident back here. Looks like it starts with the 52 and the 2. Those are teammates. Oh, they're 4 wide. That's what happens.
4 wide.
27, I think, just ticks. The 2 just slides up the track, and Harina, nowhere really for her to go.
Oh. Wow.
Alicia Vancy has been given the free pass. I don't think that Vancy was eligible for it, though. Well, we'll see what's up there, but it sounds like Vancy may have gotten a lap back that was, or she was not in position to do so. But mechanical issues aplenty, and again, this is pretty much exactly what we saw in the Continental race. Was once a caution came out after a long run, they just get a little antsy and they just get a little too aggressive, and incidents happen. And that's what's happened here. And that's what happened yesterday too. Quite a few times yesterday. Latanya Gray had a spectacular crash, almost kind of like Mika Arena had there.
So far, definitely showing shades of the Continental race. And honestly, from the other mile and a half that we've been to so far this season as well, seen chaos, kind of like we saw at Las Vegas. And honestly, it's been quite a race of attrition as well, kind of like we saw out of Texas. We've seen a lot of mechanical failures here so far and still got quite a long ways to go. So we'll have to see if this trend continues on.
Well, the lights are out on the pace car, so we're going to go back to green this time. It'll be Gennaro, Vevelst, Ku, Rugatino, Chantose, McJasmina, Alicantes, Delad, Wandayo, and Waterton that make up the top 10. Anya Waterton, I mean, if she can hang on. Again, she is yet to score a top 10 this season, so she can hang on here. If she can hang on to a top 10, I think that would be welcomed in that team, to say the absolute least. Obviously, her and Mimi Barino co-owned that team, as well as driving for it, so I think they'd be happy to see at least some kind of improvement.
We've really seen cautions breeding cautions here so far in these past couple of laps, so I have to see if that trend continues here.
Well, we'll have to hope it doesn't. We'll have to hope we can get another long run like we had in that first stint. Alright, here we go. Green flag is out, and they're back to racing, and the 99 already dive bombing the 42 for the race lead.
Already got a lot of side-by-side battles here up towards the front as Vevelst wasting absolutely no time taking that race lead away. Already got 3 wide there. Kind of just right outside the top 10, I believe, and 3 wide here inside the top 10. Oh boy, already seeing a lot of shuffling here as everybody's pretty much back on fresh tires once again. Jasmine in the 6th now back up into the 3rd position.
They make a 4 wide over here. That's contact. That was a lot tighter than it needed to be, but
boy. And they're still getting close to making contact back there.
Absolutely. Here we go. Move for the lead. Here comes Rugatino in the 96. Now, she won at a kind of similar track in Calder Park in Australia. She went on to win. She actually won that race by 18 seconds, which was an absolute stomping she put on the field, and nobody's put up a performance close to that in either series since then, not even on a road course.
Again, just like McJasmine was able to do, they're going to stay side by side for the time being, but as soon as I say that, the 96 of Rugatino is going to clear with ease there coming off of turn number 4, and now, once again, we got the 99 and the 6 of McJasmine going at it once again, but this time it's for the 2nd position. This
time they're vying for 2nd because a familiar face has just decided to show up in the top 10 and at the lead as well. The 96, Angeli Rugatino. If you're familiar with any other leagues that have a 96 with that font and for that team, you'll know that's a familiar sight. Maybe not in those colors, but fair few people recognize that. 99.
Oh yeah.
Gotten behind the 6, but she's going to dive down, look for the 2nd spot once again.
They go side by side here once again. And it looks like Vevel's going to try and get the better here of McJasmine. How about this 13 of Waterton? Restarted there in the 10th position, making up some ground here, now up into 6th. Like you kind of mentioned, that would be a decent accomplishment, to say the absolute least, for that team and that driver. And Man, they're putting on a show here during this run.
They might go 3 wide. Waterton's gotten by Delad and Alicantes right there. Masha, what's up on the 18?
Yeah, focusing a little bit on the 18 of Perry Alicantes here. This is a team that's been making all sorts of wholesale changes to the setup of the car since the beginning of the race. I think Alicantes was relatively content with the way the car handled, but their crew chief, her crew chief was out there trying to make a big swing for the next run, and so they made a lot of changes to that car. Changed the tire pressures wholesale, gave it a lot more wedge, and overall just kind of looked to make the handling of the car much nicer on the so that it can hook up to the inside line more and try to exploit the extra grip in the inside of 3 and 4 just that little bit better than everyone else, and we'll see how that goes. But so far that car has entered the top 10 and is just part of one of the few cars that started kind of in that middle of the pack that we talked about in the pre-race show that are slowly moving their way into the front.
McJasmine and Vebels were battling there for quite a while for second. You see Youngwei Koo fighting with Sophie Chantose for the 4th position, and Waterton up here in the 6th spot. Lily Talberson's managed to get up to the 9th position. She's passed a couple cars after dropping back on the pit stop, but hey, you know, great ploy by her. Got track position by staying out. Managed to pit. Didn't lose too much on the pit road by taking 4 tires when everybody else took 2, and now she's up here. Now she's up here towards the front of the field, and she might be battling for the win at the end of this thing. You never know.
And another battle between Vebelst and McJasmine.
Those two keep fighting. Pretty standard for those two, I guess. Bria Delade now has the NordVPN fastest lap of the race, 28.075. I think it's not too long before we see somebody drop into the 27-second bracket in this race. That would be that'll be pretty interesting. We're seeing they're going to catch this lap car. That's the 82. And remember, the 82's off the pace.
Oh boy!
Held up the 96 just a bit. That might let the 99 make a move here. Yes, it does. Here comes Vebelst for the race lead, trying to take it back. They might
trying
go
to
3
stay
wide.
to the inside. McJasmine also trying to peek as well. Not quite going to be able to go for it just yet, but they're going to stay side by side here for the lead going down the front straightaway. But Vebels, with the push from McJasmine, is going to clear going into turn number 1.
Yeah, great job by McJasmine to be able to push that 99 out front and maybe even try and take that position herself. It's a Mercedes, a Ford, and a Toyota that are all fighting out at the front of the field, and there's a Chevy pretty close by as well in the 38.
Waterton now up into 4th.
I forgot the other manufacturer. It's Honda. It's the 62 and 12th. That's the best running Honda right now. Vebelst out front. Once more. McJasmine still trying to get to second on the 96 of Rugatino. I don't know if the 6 has the best car so far, but she has definitely one of the top 2 or 3. I think the 96, though. They've clearly made some kind of adjustment that has made that car move like a rocket ship, because Rugatino is a lot more competitive up here at the front than she was earlier on.
For sure. Definitely has had a lot of time to make adjustments with the amount of pit stops that we have had in the past couple of laps. But S96 has definitely turned on the jets here, and we're finally having a good green flag run here once again, which is nice to see. And we're kind of once again seeing who our fast cars are. You got the 99 of Brisha Vebelst out in front. But here comes the 96 taking a peek down to the inside. Had to check up a little bit. And that could potentially open the door for Jasmina here, going down the backstretch and into 3 and 4.
Rugatino looked, she was there, but could not make it stick. They might go 3 wide. They're going to go 1 wide down the front straightaway. They were thinking about it, though.
I think without a doubt this might be the fastest 3 cars on the racetrack at the moment. By side for the lead once again here.
96 to the inside. Again, the 99.
You know what, though? Here comes Waterton.
Here comes the 13. And Rugatino leads that lap, but if you're Vebolst, again, I think Vebolst has been outstanding on the high lane, and especially in turns 3 and 4. She has been the only one I've been able to really see that's been able to consistently stay up in the high lane and not lose ground. Not lose a ton of ground. She's to the outside of the 96. They're going to start catching some other cars that are a fair bit slow just from being involved in incidents. They're about to catch the one of Vancy.
Vebolst way up the racetrack, 3 wide for the second position.
Here comes the 13 of Yania Waterton. She might go for the lead here. Oh, she dove down.
Oh, tried it.
She tried to dive it really deep. And hey,
Only we're 3 wide per second still.
There's Sky and Jetta now up here in the top 5.
Where did Jetta come from?
She just kind of showed up here. I can't really say I know where she came from because she's just shown up. Got a battle for 10th here. There's DeGabi Abriella moving up through the field, fighting with Periella Contes. And suddenly this top 5, top 6 looks a lot different than it did at the start of this race. Rugatino, Waterton, McJasmina, Ku, Vebolst, and Jetta, Dalad, Shantose. I mean, just 40 or so laps ago, you would have said, hey, there's no way they could get up there in that little time.
Well, there you go.
But they
Seeing
did.
a lot of new faces up here towards the front.
Yeah. And Jetta's moved her way up to 5th now. She was actually looking underneath on the 99 there for a little bit, but backed off on it. 93 just has not been the same since she got on the wall. She's still back in 27th. That car just, I can't help but wonder if that car just has a bit of lingering damage from getting in the wall on that early run.
I think that definitely could be the case.
100 laps down here from Kentucky. Got about 167 more to go. As we might have a move for the lead, because here comes the 13 of Waterton.
Oh,
Looks down to the inside.
oh boy.
She took it deep on Rugatino there, and I think she's going to have it at the start-finish line at the very least.
Rugatino tried to fend her off, tried to take her line away going into 3 and 4, but Waterton stood strong. Takes the lead away, but slips wide, and Rugatino with a crossover coming out of turn 2.
She tried to cross over. She's going to try to cross Waterton over here, and she might actually have that because of, you know, the line here in 3 and 4. See Vebolst fighting back behind for third with McJasmina, as has been the case for most of this race.
Another lap, another Vebolst-McJasmina battle.
It's been the story of the whole race, kind of.
Seems like it.
6-car got a great
They're
run.
Still side by side for the lead. Oh, here comes McJasmina.
Is she gonna take him
Oh,
3?
is she gonna make it 3 wide?
She's gonna try. It's not gonna be 3 wide by the time she gets to the inside, but
Still might go for the lead here. Oh, Vebolst.
Vebolst
All the way to the apron.
all the way to the apron, but I think it unsettled the car just enough to where she
Yeah.
had to step out.
I think she probably about instantaneously realized her mistake, because, yeah, she stayed down there. There was no way that was going to work.
There was no room to make that corner work. They're gonna catch the 82 again.
This could hold up Waterton a little bit. Oh,
And
boy.
it's gonna hold her up a bit more than a
Oh,
little
boy.
bit. That might stack up
Yeah.
a lot of the field here, actually.
Oh, Vebolst. Oh, Vebolst is not going to be happy about
Vebolst
that.
is stuck. She got stuck behind the 82. Got boxed in, nowhere really for her to go. I think she can make that up, though. I think
Definitely
she
gonna be
thinks
probably
she can make
driving
that up.
angry though.
I mean, Marisha's probably always driving angry if you kind of look at her.
You know
if you
what?
kind of look at how she runs.
You know what? Very fair point. Extremely fair point.
And I think a lot of these other drivers are trying to make her even more angry. Here's Yappy Malikson up in the top 10. Where'd she come from?
Hello.
This might be the even more surprising one. I've never seen a lick of her all day. And all of a sudden she's up here, you know, just took 8th place away last time by at the start-finish line. 13 trying to take second back from Mick Jasmine.
82 definitely gave the top 3 a little bit of a gap from 4th on back.
Yeah,
They're
I'm not
looking
sure
to try
how
and
much...
catch back up though.
Whoa, Marisha.
Oh, 3 wide.
Marisha tried to clear herself there off the 3. Almost tried the 3 wide move again. Marisha's had that textbook aggression with her today. And I can't say I'm surprised, but it's been very apparent, especially up front.
Not a doubt. Gonna maybe catch the 1 here probably in the next couple of laps, and
I believe so.
this is gonna be a bit interesting because the 1 is definitely not as far off the pace as the 82 is.
Yeah, the 1's actually up to speed, somewhat. I think
Yeah.
the 1 is. I think the 1's fine on speed.
Yeah.
She's 2 laps down right now, but she's had her fair bit of issues today. So it's not exactly speed that's setting her lap down. What are we doing back here? That is,
Boy.
I think that more than qualifies for the term sketchy.
Yeah. Honestly, kind of got a bit of a hornet's nest going on here.
This is kind of a everyone's just kind of bunched up back here. Waterton's taking second back. Rugatino might honestly be drafting off the 1 a little bit, trying to save a little fuel here, maybe.
Jasmine going back for second here.
He's
Also got
doing
Sky and Jetta teammate looking to maybe try and help her teammate through.
Might try to help her teammate through. Might try to dive bomb her in 1 and 2. You never know here.
You know what? Why not both?
Yeah. Why not both?
Oh,
They're 3 wide.
3 wide.
13 is in the middle. She's trying to make that stick through the middle. It just might. She held position, but that's about all she got. Rigatino has driven away, but the 16 of Ingetta is trying to get away from the rest of this group and try to run that 96 down. I think that 96 has definitely picked up a little bit of a draft.
And I'm sure 96 was also able to pull away quite a bit with all of them battling behind her.
They're gonna keep battling.
And they're gonna keep doing so here.
They can't decide who wants to be second. Everyone wants to be second. They all want to chase down the 96 right now, but if they keep fighting, then none of them will. Here comes Youngwei Koo in the 38. Right here for 7th, Reno Malikson and Vebel's fighting for that spot. And Jetta's going to drop back to 4th here behind, fighting with Shanta Say.
This is...
The 1 car is actually up to pace, and she's actually trying to battle the 96 right now.
And I'm sure the 96 is probably not the happiest about that, but they are still continuing to kind of go crazy here behind her, so.
Yeah. Wouldn't be surprised either way if the 96.
Jetta, though.
Yeah, look at the 16. Here comes that car. She looks pretty strong. Oh, she had to check up.
Oh, big checkup.
Had to check up not to get into the 96 there, as the 96 was trying to get around the 1. 99 around the 3 here for the 8th spot. I do think that the 99 is probably the fastest car right now out in clean air. Just, she's kind of struggling in, she's kind of been set, she's had a bit of a setback, gotten sent back here into this dirty air. Trying to get through all these cars. So she has her work cut out, but could be worse, I suppose. They're 4 wide over here.
Oh, boy. They're going at it right now behind our top 2, and the one looking back underneath the 96s could give Sky and Jet a bit of a chance here.
16's got to run.
And we're closing back on the 82 as well.
99 clear of the nut 23, so she's now the leader of that group.
Oh, here we go.
Here comes the 16, and Jetta looking for the lead.
Oh, that was a dead heat at the line.
Ah, 0.00. Was it 0.000? No, 0.003. And Jetta's got it now, and the 82 is here, and she's going to stack up everybody again. But especially the 1.
Sure, the 96 is loving that.
Well, that might be the only thing she's loving right now, because she's lost the lead, and she's trying to hold off Waterton for second. Sky and Jetta in the 16 car now out front. And that's the 3rd Southwest Racing car that has led today.
I think Southwest Racing definitely came to play here today. Like you said, they've had 3 of their cars in the race lead. All 3 of them definitely have quite a bit of pace.
Been a bit of a bit of a different turn from how the rest of the season has gone for them, because they just have not had it for whatever it is this season. As the 6 makes contact with the 13 in the middle of turn 2 there. That was very close.
Oh, and I don't think they're done either.
Don't look now, but the 23 is closing up on this pack.
Hey, yeah, they are.
She's actually almost here, and the 99 may actually close in here as well, along with the 3.
And the 1 is back underneath the 96.
There's no way Rugatino's happy about that, right?
I'm sure definitely not.
16 is gone. These cars keep fighting, and the 16 has pulled a big lead out of this.
And I think all these cars battling is really contributing to cars like the 23 and the 99 catching back up to this pack.
Absolutely. Bigger draft, bigger hole in the air that they punched. That's letting them close back in.
Let's take it at 3 wide. He's looking. Oh. That's dicey.
I think this whole race has been pretty dicey.
Yeah.
How about Sophie Chantasse in second now? Getting by Waterton. There's Q trying to get through the middle.
Went up the track. Oh, lordy.
MBYW with both of their cars in the top 10 right now. I mean, you can't be upset with that, especially with the season they've had.
That was just a big move there by Jasmine, cutting from top to bottom.
Gets her up into third. So Southwest, so it's Toyota's 1, 2, 3 now. How about that? And Jetta, Chantasse, McJasmina make up the top 3 spots. Then it's 2 Chevys. Then it's a Ford. Then it's 4 Mercedes. And the top running Honda still does 62 of Yukovic. Back there just skimming the top 10. The 16 got away for a bit, but now the 6 car, now the 26 and the 6 are closing back in. 6, 16, 26. It's a good day to have a good time to have a 6 in your number, I guess.
Definitely seems like it.
96 is up here as well, so you know that could count. That could count for something too.
Yeah. Getting close to halfway home here.
Yeah, halfway coming pretty soon. Been pretty clean so far. Just 2 cautions, and oh, 6 car
And
coming to pit road.
It stops.
McJasmina coming in. When did they pit last? 75. So we're lap what? 129.
Something like that.
Yeah, so it's about on cycle. All right. McJasmine of the earliest to
Anybody
pit.
else comes in?
I don't see anybody else in.
Okay.
Maybe a bit early for the 6 car, but could be worse. I guess we'll have to get a little bit of, we'll have to get a little update and see if that's part of strategy or if there was something going on there. Oh, 21's in. On Mani Wandayo, there's the 15 of Tolaron that has come in as well, so.
Looks like I guess it was just a strategy call.
Battle for the lead. Here comes the 26. Sophie Chantasse trying to take the top spot away from Engetta. Ooh, Engetta's coming to pit road. Very, very close to... There's a lot of cars coming in. 13, 96. The 99's one of those cars that's down right now. 62, 31, 98, 22, or 64, 60, 19. '26 is in, so here comes Chantasse. A couple cars staying up. 23. '23 is going to stay out, so Malikson will get that bonus point for leading a lap. See if she comes in this time. Yep.
Yep.
39, 55, 72, 46, 17. I think that might be it. I think that might be everyone.
I definitely think it might.
16 was the leader off. 16 was the leader before the stops. And I believe she's going to retain the lead afterwards. I believe the 27 might have had a little bit of extra time on pit road. She might have been a lap down. She might be a lap down. I may also just be completely lying.
Yeah, it looks like that 27
Yeah,
might indeed
27
be a
is
lap down.
27 is a lap down. So it looks like 6 kind of dropped back a little bit in terms of where she cycled, but she's battling, well, I don't even need to say it, I think.
Of course.
So Engetta back to the lead as we've taken the cross flags halfway home from Kentucky. Been a pretty interesting race so far. Quite an enjoyable one, though. I think this has been quite fun. Quite fun to watch.
Oh,
Been competitive.
How did the 62 make it up to 4th?
Wow, a great stop for Yukovic.
Okay.
Malikson, you got Abriella in 6th. Wandio's up in 8th.
Mondio.
Talberson, there's McJasmine in 10th. McJasmine kind of dropped a few more spots than I expected her to, so I wonder if maybe they spent a little extra time on pit road. So the 16 and Jetta and the 26 of Chantaze are pretty well out ahead of the field. 13, 62, 23, 20. That next group, 38, 21, and then the 6s kind of jumped both of these cars. These two have pulled away a bit, but I don't expect that to last for long because when you're in a group, you're just going to be a lot faster.
Especially if these top 2 do end up kind of getting into a battle. I think that could definitely open the door for all these cars behind to
I mean, these cars
at least
are already
close the
closing.
gap. And oh yeah, they're already
closing.
They're already really breaking into that gap.
One car has come down.
Somebody.
That's the one car. I think she was a little off cycle.
Yeah.
Well, it is about that time. Hopefully we don't manifest a caution this time, as we have, I don't even know how many times we've done the mid-race report. It always happens. There's always a caution during the mid-race report. So we'll have Caleb, you'll dial into the studio, and we'll have Rasha take us home down there in the FanDuel Fantasy for the mid-race report. What do you two got?
Hello, Echo. I've come down here to the studio in the infield, back for our weekly caution clock. I mean mid-race reports. It has been a really good long run race for most of the way. I think we just had our, I want to say, second green flag pit cycle, and well, this one seems to have gone by without incident. We'll see if we get an incident right after, as we did with the first green flag cycle. It's Sky and Jetta leading the way, with Sophie Chantasse giving chase, and then a bit of a gap between these two and the rest of the top 10, I should say. And Caleb's here calling in from the booth. Caleb, you've had a really good view of this race so far. I think you probably share the same opinion that I do, that this race has been a lot of fun, and we've seen a lot of great racing, kind of everywhere, really. And yeah, what are your thoughts on it so far?
Yeah, definitely. Like I said, it's been a fantastic race here so far. We've seen a lot of great racing, a lot of passing as well, and honestly, it's kind of interesting just how many comers and goers we've seen so far in this race. Of course, in the early stages, we thought that McJasmine and Vebels might be just the cars to beat, but now they're honestly kind of just struggling to hold on to the top 10, and got two whole new faces up here in front, and it looks like we might have a battle for the lead heating up here.
Comes in Jetta to the inside, side by side out of 4. We'll see if Jetta has the run. It's really close, 0.00, and Jetta with the lead just about that time. She's gonna run it up high here, try to use that grip on the outside. We're seeing that that outside in 1 and 2 rubber up a little bit. I think we touched on that in the pre-race show as well. We'll see how it works in 3 and 4, though. I don't think that outside is gripped up as much in 3 and 4. I think the inside still has a little bit of advantage. As I say that, and Jetta's holding on quite well, as they've held side by side for a whole lap now. And it was 0.00 again. They're still in a deadlock.
And these two staying deadlocked side by side is definitely going to allow all the cars behind to close in just a little bit, but
yeah, this is really beneficial for the rest of the field, I think, and we'll see over the rest of this race. But those two fighting for we've seen some really intense fights for position, I think, and that was just one of them. And yeah, we'll see if that allows the rest of the field to catch up. But they do have a long ways, I think, 2.7 seconds behind these top two, the 23 of Yappy Malix, and as you can see them there at the edge of the shot, they have caught a little bit. They're now, you can see them in the same camera shot. But yeah, long run racing, lots of pit strategy so far. And I'm not sure if either the over or undercut's really that much stronger at this track. It doesn't really seem to, I don't know if it seems to matter too much, but at least as opposed to the like raw execution of the pit cycles. But I guess we'll just have to continue watching as so far it looks like the expectation seems to be that this green flag racing will continue on for at least a little bit longer.
We kind of hopeful that it stays that way because, like I said, we've seen some fantastic racing here so far, especially on these long green flag runs, and especially fun, like I said, when you really start to get those comers and goers. But yeah, like I was saying, it's been a great race here so far, and we still got a whole nother half of it left to go here.
Yeah, I mean, you see in Jeddah now retaking the lead. I guess we'll take a look at the rest of this pack. This second pack here, Palis Jukovic in the 62 really nailed that strategy call on the really nailed the execution of the strategy on that most recent pit cycle. Moved all the way up to third now, and now fighting the 23 for that position. Another driver who really executed well in that pit cycle, I think. Malakson and Jukovic both alike have found themselves up in the top 5 now. And while they do have quite a bit of an uphill battle try to catch these cars, these two might be looking for a caution. If anybody's looking for a caution, it's these two cars. I think they seem to have very fast cars, and they might need that because this track can be a little bit draft heavy. If you can get a tow, that would really help you catch the top 2. But they seem to be just far enough that they can't really catch that from the top 2, and they're just gonna, and those two cars seem just going to drive away for the foreseeable future here as they negotiate the 82 of Paceland Yuria, I believe. Ooh. But yeah, lap traffic it hasn't played that much of a role. Although I guess that's because we've only seen one car that's slow. It's this 82 car, and everyone else that has fallen a lap down has mostly been in around the same pace as the leaders. I mean, you saw the one of Alicia Vancy do the same thing. So I guess we'll just have to see how important do you think being able to negotiate your way around this one car is, and how important do you think that'll be for the rest of the race?
I think it'll be simultaneously kind of important, but at the same time, I think it's definitely recoverable if you do get kind of stuck behind this 82, like we're kind of seeing here from Waterton and McJasmine. I think like if you can kind of stay within close proximity, of course you've seen the draft can be pretty powerful here, and of course if you can kind of just stay in this pack, you usually see a lot of shuffling going on. So I think while you definitely want to try and maneuver your way around these cars as quickly as possible, especially this 82, because 82 definitely quite off of the pace.
Yeah.
Compared to the rest of the field.
A lot of shuffling going around there.
Ooh,
almost a
is that a caution?
Do we have a caution? Yes, we do have a caution. We've done it. We've done it. We've spotted another caution. It'll be the 26. We'll see where that came from. I thought I saw one car in pit lane. Maybe not. Not sure what that was for. That might have been a car. That might have been a car in the pit lane. We'll have to double check on that. But yeah, that might have been just one car. I don't think it was caused by the 82. Oh, there is a car. I think that's 46.
Oh, the 46.
But yeah, otherwise I don't see any other cars with damage. So I think that was another solitary car. A solitary car causing the caution to come out there. If I had to guess, the 46 probably just stopped in the backstretch in the same way that I forgot who brought out the previous caution. Was it the
22?
22, yeah, it was the 22, I believe,
yeah.
that did that as well. So yeah, that seems to be the only caution so far. We'll cross our fingers here because we'll have a restart here, but well, I say that cross our fingers. We don't get any other other major incidents, I would say. Hopefully these drivers have calmed down a little bit as we're getting a little replay here from the main feed. We're watching with the 46 off of 2. Seems to be running about fine. It's kind of slow here. Is this where it happens? She is slow, but I don't see anything that would inhibit her from coming to pit lane. Unless she somehow outright misses it. Oh, she just doesn't come in. Oh, okay, she came in late. I see what happened. Oh, and she...
Oh.
That's a reason for a caution, I guess. She's stuck on the infield.
Okay.
Made a late call to come in, I guess, and well, that was one thing you guys mentioned in the booth, is that getting into pit lane might be difficult, but that's a new one. And with that, I think everything's now kind of just thrown out of whack. I would say the playbook's been thrown out the window. Everyone's gonna have to reset here. 16 and 26. Their gap, of course, is all but erased. Good chance, and it'll be a good chance for the 62 and 23. They've gotten their caution. Now they're right behind the leaders. And by the way, look out for that. Is that 6 car there? Yeah, watch out for that 6 car. Meg Jasmine has moved up to 5th at the end of that at the onset of that yellow flag pit cycle. So she's been moving up a little bit. She dropped back to the to 9th there, and maybe them and the 6 and 99 went the wrong way on adjustments that time, or maybe just didn't execute well enough in the green flag pit cycle. But that's been erased now, and they're back in the main pack. And on the subject of the 99, I would say aggression has been the name of the game with racing on the restarts here. And now that we're anticipating a restart, how do you expect the races? How do you expect these guys to race? Now that we're in the second half of the race, we're kind of starting to enter the closing stages now. This is where you want to start consolidating moves and securing track position. How aggressive do you think these drivers are going to be, especially on this upcoming restart?
Very.
Yeah, I think they've been very aggressive already.
I think, especially with probably the looming possibility that this could potentially be the last caution flag of the race, so this could probably be the last chance we bunch these guys up, barring
maybe
if we do have any other cautions after this, which could also definitely be a possibility. But
yeah,
and you got to weigh all your options here, and I think as a result of that, these guys are going to be really, really aggressive here on this restart.
Yeah, I would think so as well. Check the running order here. 16, 26, 62, 23, 6, 20, 13, 99, 55, and 38. Driver we haven't talked about much is that 20 of the Gabi Abriel. A good run to get her up over there. Check at the back of the field. See maybe the 46. The 46 is back out on track. Whatever problem they had. I'll come back to that. I'll circle back on that after the end of this show. Should be happening pretty soon here. And yeah, 27's kind of straddling behind. I wonder if that has anything to do with the 46. But yeah.
Yeah, 27 is a free pass.
Oh, the 27. I'm just getting word that the 27 is the free pass car, so that would be the reason why she's just hanging it back to stay on the tail end. Probably let the 46 through. All right, and with that, I think we might be able to start our FanDuel fan pick segment. I guess I'll start because I'm the lone studio host today here, as we anticipate an absolute belter of a restart. I think. Oh boy, there's a lot of cars to talk about. I'm not entirely sure who to pick here. I might go with the 62 of Hollis Jukovic. I mean, that car seemingly came out of nowhere here, but I think if good pit strategy and execution are going to be a factor that's going to decide the course of the race, that 62 team might be one to look out for. It is an Atlantic racing car, and they've been quick all season. And your Daytona 500 winner Hollis Jukovic might very well be one to look out for as a key contender in this race. Caleb, how about you?
As we get to the restart here, honestly, like I said, it's been a race full of comers and goers, and I definitely like your pick there with the 62, as they've really been coming alive here in the closing laps. But I think who I've got my eye on is the car that's actually going for third right now. Number 23 of Yappy Malixon. I think that 23 definitely might have something for our race leaders, especially here in the later stages, and they're already going for second here. That got close there. Everybody's trying to go for whatever they can. We got a lot of 3 wide here on this restart.
Yeah, there's that aggression we're all looking for now, and I think this would be a good time to take it back to the booth with Echo, and I leave it back, and you can join her, of course, back in the booth. That was our FanDuel mid-race report. We'll take you back over there. Take it away, Echo.
Yeah, my pick is going to be the 99, Marisha Vebelst. Aggression has been the name of the game in this race. The 99 has looked very fast all race. I think she'll drive her way back up to the front. She's looked very, very strong in clean air. She's looked all right in dirty air, but I think that this car performs best in clean air. and she's gonna be able to get there. And I think that's gonna be, it's gonna be her race to win. See, Mimi Barino has apparently taken an extra stop. She might have gotten a penalty. Yep, looks like she received a stop and go.
Man, a lot of shuffling still going on here after this restart. It's kind of calmed down here with our top three, but behind them, it's honestly kind of a madhouse as we have a lot of double files, still quite a couple probably instances of 3 wide. And speaking of which, that got pretty close there, up at 2 between McJasmine and the number 31. Ooh, I thought they might go 4 wide there for a second.
They
oh,
are
they're
going to
go 4 wide. Oh boy, look out.
They're not going to go 4 wide for long.
That was close.
McJasmine
Yeah, it
and
is
Rigatino
on here from
both.
Kentucky.
The 6 and the 96 both kind of drop back quite a bit here at this point in the race. They've lost a lot of positions, and I'm not sure if they just got a bad restart or if they're just not up to pace. I mean, I know the 6 was in 5th. Malikson now has taken 2nd. I like how nobody took the 16. It's kind of funny. She's up here right now. I don't know if we'll see her manage to make it last to the end of the race, though. Here comes the 99. 99's closing in for 3rd. She closes on...
car coming back alive at the perfect time.
Absolutely. And we're approaching 100 laps to go here in this one, so this race is kind of flown by. Only been about an hour and a half. We've only taken about an hour and a half to run to get this far into it. So, and keep in mind that this timer down here actually includes the 5 minutes that they have ticking down on the grid as well. So,
for the lead, here comes Yappy.
23 car looking for the race lead. Yappy Malikson.
There's my pick.
Just barely at the line, but she did have it.
For 3rd, Vettel side by side with, surprisingly, not McJasmine.
Yeah, McJasmine is so far back in the field. I don't think Vebels could be side by side with her unless unless they both were running like they weren't. They were both running badly. Vebels takes 3rd, but this 26 fighting back. Here comes Chantose trying to take that spot away. Seen Vebels do really good holding on the outside here in 3 and 4, though.
26 held the inside pretty well there. They're still side by side down the front straightaway. Got double file, 4 rows deep as the 38 just dove to the apron.
Oh, 38.
Oh, they've got an issue.
That's an issue. That car is off the pace. We'll see if we can find out what it is, but Youngwei Koo, who was up in the top 10 before this, has suddenly lost pace, and the 16 of Jetta going for this spot on Malikson. Back the lead. The 16 takes it away. So 38 is going back to the pit road without a yellow coming out, so we will stay green.
Malikson tried to cross over there through turns 1 and 2, wasn't quite able to do it. They
Now
got a good run down the
it.
back stretch and goes to the inside here through 3 and 4. Side by side once again for this race lead. Vebels now up into 3rd. And
Maria
once again, we're
Delade.
catching this 82 car.
How about the 55?
Hey, 5 coming back alive.
Whoa, the
Whoa.
23 got held up big time.
Oh, and here comes Mauricia.
Here comes the 99. She's got to run.
Oh, look at the 55. Oh, boy. All over the quarter panel, that 26. Oh, and the 20 gets held up big time by the 82.
Oh, yeah, Gabriella got hurt a lot by that. Jukovic and Talberson back here. We got to fight for the lead. Here comes Vebelstad Malikson.
Side by side for the lead, nearly 3 wide for third as well.
It's our picks going head to head. I'm curious, if we go green all the way to the end, it might be very close on fuel, because they can go about 55 laps. What? When do they pit? Like lap 154, 153, something like that?
Something like that-ish. Yeah, this could get very close.
Yeah, I'm calculating it out. If you add it by 55 each time, they
Pretty
can
wide.
go. They can only make it to 263 on one stop.
Oh boy.
So this might be tight if we go green all the way to the end. How about a shout out to Carly Byrne in the 9 car? A good recovery,
Hey.
another good recovery run for her. She's up in 10th now. She's been struggling a lot lately, struggling to find pace, but she can get another top 10. I think that will help her.
Vettel's continuing to swap the lead there with that 23, and that's letting a lot of drivers kind of close in, like the 16, 26, 55, and you've also got the 62 and the 39 now back up here, and the 20 as well, not too far back.
Oh, the
There comes the
38's
38 out of
exiting
pits.
pit road. We're gonna might go
Oh,
3 wide for the
Jenna.
lead. Look at the 16.
Look at that!
Daring move, and it's gonna stick, I think. Yes, it is.
It looks like it is. Wow! What a move!
Sky and Jetta let it hang out. What a
Goes
move.
wide through 1 and 2.
And here comes Malikson. Here comes Shadose in the 26. This is a heated battle.
I'll say. We're going absolutely crazy up here now. Oh, Vebbels
Vebbels
went to
looking
the outside of the
underneath.
26 and to the inside of the 16.
Big run for the 99. She's going to try to take
And here
that
comes
into
the
3 and 4.
62 back up here.
Yeah, Yukovic is up here. Here comes Abriella in the 20.
Up the 18 and the 9 as well.
Yeah, they're closing in on this. There's the pole sitter, Audie Stoneman, in the 10. She's up at 11. Still hasn't gotten the lap lead bonus point yet. She won the pole, and she has the bonus point for that, but that's all the bonus points she has right now from this race. I had to do a double check to make sure she hadn't taken the fastest lap, so I didn't say anything wrong. Alexson closing in on the 38 of Koo. Vebelst has taken second. And Jetta sits third, just behind the 99. It's a 3 wide fight for fourth here, I think. They'll single file it out, though. Talberson fighting Delod back here for the 7th spot. Carly Byrne has taken 9th away from Alicante, so the 9 is up in a 9th spot. All 3 of the 4 ERR cars up here in the top 10 right now. The only one that's not is the 93 of Tosima, who sits in 20th right now. Obviously, still recovering from the damage she took when she hit the wall in the first run of the race. Just hasn't been able to recover. 23 to the inside on the 38. She'll put her... Oh, that would put her, I believe, 5 laps down.
And the 38 not far off the pace, though. It could have probably just been something like a flat tire. Yeah, the 38, that thing still got pace, so...
Oh, the 38's definitely got a lot of pace.
Interesting. That was a big send around the outside. They're going to stay side by side, and 23 needs to be careful, because here comes Vebels and Angetta with a big run.
Rasha, what's up?
Yep, updates coming here on the 46 and 38. We'll start with the 46. We saw that car come down pit lane during the mid-race report, and I think the slight issues that they were having coming down pit road actually caused that caution. Can confirm that was a fuel system problem, I believe. The team thinks that the team was looking at the fuel delivery system on that car, and I think they were looking at some block They suspected they had some blocked lines on there, so they were trying to clean those up and just kind of try to unblock those as much as possible and send her back out. And I believe she's still running, but she is definitely limping a little bit. But right now things are looking. Right now things don't look too bad for that 46 on pace, as she is running with the pack here, albeit quite a few laps down, I believe. And on that, and additionally on the 38, I can confirm that that was just another tire down on that car, the 38 of Youngwei Ku, just having a flat. Is having a flat early on. Seemingly, I think they might have underinflated one of their tires, and they had to bring it back down to change that up and fix that issue. And yeah, I can confirm that I don't think there's any additional damage from that. And now they've brought the car back up, and they do seem to be running at the pace that they were running at before as well.
Well, the interesting thing for Yanniga is with the position she's in, she's actually the first car lap down. So if there's another yellow here, the 46 would actually get the free pass. But she would need it to be in this run because, we've seen a lot most of the time during the pit cycle, cars tend to get lapped during the pit cycle. As they're catching the lap car, and the 99 used the 82 perfectly as a pick there. She trapped a 23 behind the 82.
Not going to be happy about that.
23 is seriously trapped behind the 82.
Finally gets back down. Finally gets inside of the 82, but is going to drop from first to, looks like probably about 6th or 7th. Maybe 8th even. 6th at the line.
She's 6th at the line. I don't know. It looks like she'll cycle out fine here. Gonna get ahead of the 39.
That was a good run though off of 2. Looking to try and get those positions back already.
I think the 23 is a bit faster than the 99. I just think, she got shuffled back there, but I think that the 23, at least at this stage in the run, is just a tiny bit faster. But she's gonna have to make that ground up. 16:26. That might be a battle for
3
second.
wide.
They thought about 3 wide.
Nearly.
Shantasay sent it 3 wide, but she backed off. And I think I think that was a smart move on her part. And Jeddah still sitting second. I mean, this is definitely the best run Jeddah has had ever since her return. She got an 8th place finish in Bristol, but I mean, that was Bristol, so that was kind of a very scuffed race in general. This has been pretty clean, and she's been able to harness that speed up front for quite a while. How about Audie Stoneman moved up into the 9th spot? Haven't seen much of her since the start. She kind of fell back from the pole position, but she's moved back up to the 9th spot now.
About the 19 in the top 10 as well. Haven't talked about them all day long.
Yeah, Arlen Handstrom. She's fighting with her teammate there, Perry Alicantes. There's Yenfi Yanniga, actually right here in the middle of this. In between 10th and 9th, actually. Obviously, she scored 2 laps down, but if she can get a couple quick yellows, it would immensely benefit her. Vettel's pretty far out there though, about half a second ahead of the next of Jeddah. Then 3rd place. It's a fight between Shantasay and Abriella right now. Zappy Malikson has managed to make her way up to 5th, but she's trying to hold off Bria Delade for that spot. There's 3 Toyotas all right here, 2, 3, 4. So, Toyota's... I believe Toyota is the only manufacturer that has yet to win in the Cup Series.
Guess they got a good shot at here tonight with how many cars they've got up here towards the front of the field.
They've got a good shot, but they're going to have to get past that fast Mercedes of Marisha Webelst. She has been... Well, there's no shortage of saying that she has been on fire tonight. Malikson has moved up to 5th. There's the 38 trying to pass the 16. Again, the 38 laps down, so it's a bit inconsequential at the moment. It could actually help the 16 get a bit of a run off the corner, though.
Definitely could, especially with this outside lane getting more rubbered in, and that honestly kind of just becoming the ideal lane to run through 1 and 2. 3 and 4, though, definitely not helping that 16's cases.
Yeah.
Slipping back maybe a little bit from the 99.
The 38's just kind of in the way. And the 16 really slid
Oh,
up
that's
that
too
time.
wide.
That's too wide to go through 1 and 2 like that. You get a little bit of leeway, but you don't get that much, as we're 3 wide now.
Look at that 20.
Gabriella.
Oh, and here comes a 23.
Here comes
Whoa.
Malikson. This is going to try to get a 3 for 1 here, I guess. Almost had that at the line. Scored 3rd. She might try and get by Gabriella here. Here comes Lily Talverson into this mix. In the 39 car.
Comes the 46. Sports, like you mentioned, a lap down at the moment, but I mean, could probably get their lap back here on merit.
She's 2 laps down at the moment. She's 2 laps down on scoring right now. But if she passed the 99, and then there were to be a caution or something like that, she would actually get back on the lead lap because she would be the only car a lap down. So if she passed the 99 and got a quick yellow, she could get 2 laps back, essentially. So it's Webelst, Gabriella, Malikson on the podium right now. Talverson, Angetta, Chantose, Stoneman, Delade, Hanstrom, and Gennaro, that is the top 10. Those are the 96 and 6 hard. These two kind of still drop back. They're 17th and 18th at the moment. Those two were up front for quite a bit earlier on in the race, but just haven't been able to stay up front here at this stage.
Maybe getting kind of stuck back there in traffic, not positively affecting the car's performance at all, really.
Malikson
Even
trying to
catching
take
the
second.
82, going into 1 and 2. Oh boy.
That was really close.
That probably held up Webels quite a bit, and the 38's going to get down to the inside here, going into 3 and 4. Be a big opportunity for cars like the 23 and the 20.
Yeah. Maybe even the 39.
And I mean, here comes the 46 as well. Looking to maybe catch a miracle here.
Yeah. I mean, she's doing everything she can to put herself in the position to get one. 99 is going to relap the 38 here, as the 20 has gone underneath the 23. So for these cars that were trying to catch the 99, what's going to end up happening is they're just going to swap positions, really. They might swap positions back. Malikson and Gabriella battling for second. Ku goes very wide. Is actually going to check up the 20 a bit here.
Ooh, 23 did not get a good entrance into one. Gonna go 3 wide.
They are 3 off the corner. It's going to settle down to 2, though, because Abriella's got clear. Malikson, Talberson, Audie Stoneman. How about this 10 car? Back up into the top 5.
Yeah, this 10 car is really kind of coming alive here in the latter part of this race. Now passing the 16 Sky Jetta there for the 5th position. I'd watch out for this 10 car, honestly. And the 19 as well, kind of making their way here through the top 10. Oh, boy. Sky and Jetta still really quick in that 16, though, trying to go to the middle of 3 wide. Way up the racetrack goes the 10. Almost got into the wall. Luckily, keeps it off, but it's going to lose a couple of positions and a lot of momentum there in the process.
Very good job by the 10 by Audi to keep it off the wall there. Expecting pit stops around lap 230, so we got about 30 laps-ish before we see cars come to pit road. Oh, sorry. I messed up my calculations. 208 is the estimated pit stop lap that we have here. I don't know why I thought it was 230. I don't know why I thought they pitted on 175. Nobody pitted on 175.
These two continue to scrap back here for the 2nd position behind the 99 and Mauricia Vebels. 23 just barely going to hold on here going into 3 and 4. Yeah, closing in on... it's kind of hard to tell whether or not this will be the final set of pit stops, because
it's very
who
tight.
knows if they're going to be able to make it to the end.
So if they pit, if they pit at 208, and they can run 55 laps, that would give them until 4 to go. So they would have to really either stretch this run or the next run if this goes green all the way to the end. That's the key word there, is if this goes green all the way to the end, because it's very possible that we get another yellow after the pit cycle. That gives them all the opportunity to just come right back down pit road. Pick a couple cars. Nope, my eyes are deceiving me.
Looks like they maybe are trying to stretch it here a bit.
Bevel's still out front. Malikson, Abriella. Then you have Talberson in 4th and Jetta in 5th. Macy and Jetta go for 4th. Oh, now we definitely got
here we go.
in.
Yep, here we go.
Bevels is in.
Oh, it's
99's
Bevels.
99 is going to be the first one down. Any other takers? 21 and 92 towards the back.
And here we go.
All right, well, this will be interesting because this is very, very tight.
I
think
the
the 23
might,
23's
yep.
in, 20's in. 19, 9, 26, 17, they're all in. So that's going to leave Jetta the leader. She's going to stretch it a little bit.
I guess also we've seen many times in a couple of different series that it could still also be the looming possibility that the pit crew just simply makes a mistake, doesn't get enough fuel in the car.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, this is
Jetta's in.
definitely going to make or break a lot of these drivers' race here.
Gennaro, Delade, Rugatino, 31 just
boy.
missed the commitment cone, but 15 really missed the commitment cone.
That's more than it just barely missed.
I believe the 39 now is the leader. I think they might be okay. But it's going to be really close. 39, 62, 13 have all come in. 98 is in. Those are the last ones.
Oh.
This is the net lead battle. The 20 and the 99.
Side by side.
20 had a good stop. Came out about on par with the 99 here.
There's in Jeddah.
There's the 16.
Come out right behind this battle.
Right behind these two. Did anybody cycle out ahead of these two? I don't believe they did. The 23 really lost a lot on pit road.
Oh, goodness gracious.
Gabriella was in front of the 99 at the line. However, she's not going to get credited with the lap led because the 98 was the leader because she crossed pit road before those two. And here comes the 99 to the inside on the 20. And this, I believe, once they cross the line, will be the race lead. And yes, it is. So Vebbel's back to the front. Gabriella and Jeddah. Then you have to go all the way back here. There's Talverson. Dira Reister up into 5th. How about that?
Hey!
For a driver who has yet to score a top 10 this season, that's a pretty good sign for her, I'd say. Carly Byrne, Halis Jukovic, Dalai, Bria Delade, Ainsley Rigatino, and Audie Stoneman make out the rest of the top 10. As these two continue to fight for the race lead. Gabriella. Underneath Vebbel.
17, though. Up here now up into 4th, or at least battling for 4th, with the 39. I'm pretty sure the 17 was that one that got spun under the pit cycle. So it's definitely not been the easiest night for that 17 team, but hey, they've had a really good recovery here so far, which is nice to see. And these two are still going at it for the lead.
These two are still going at it. The 46 and the 16 are starting to close up on these two. Or now, as it stands, the 15. The 15 is actually the first car one lap down now. So for Yanniga, she would have to hope she has to hope she can get by, get a caution, and then drive up to be the first car off the lead lap. If they can get a caution, I think that would save enough fuel for everybody that they would be able to make it. I don't know. This is going to be really, really tight, though.
And these two just continue to battle it out for this race lead.
They're not saving any fuel.
Side by side once again. Yeah, I don't think they're saving any fuel. The 16 Sky and Jeddah honestly might be, because she's kind of just hanging in the wings right now while these two outrun each other's doors off.
Caution is out. We have a caution. I believe it's
it's a 6. Oh, no. Oh, big one.
That's the 60 of AWSCO. Looks like the 9, the 93 are involved.
Not quite a big one.
Not a big one, but big enough one to bring out a yellow.
Show a handful of cars and what honestly kind of looked like almost 3 separate incidents.
Well, you know all that fuel mileage talk I was doing? Yeah, throw that all out the window now. They should be good.
Yep.
They should be good here.
Throw it in the deep fryer.
They should be good from here, even if they all come to pit road. Well, especially if they all come to pit road, actually. Free pass car will be the 15. Ooh, 99's coming down. 21. (92), 64, 23. Looks like a fair bit of these cars were damaged, so. 99 comes down pit road. I think they weren't able to make it. She's coming down to play it safe here. Just a splash of fuel. Oh, the 26. Whoa.
Oh.
That is, Sophie Chantase's day up in smoke. Tolerone free pass. She was the first car a lap down. If things stay as they are, it looks like the 46 will at least get the wave around for being in between the top 10. So let's see if we can find what happened there, because it looked like the 62 was involved. Battling here, there's Byrne, Talberson, and Yukovic. They got held up by the 17. Oh!
Oh, no. Oh, no.
Bria DeLaude, I think, just got into them.
Wow.
I think the, I think they got checked up just a bit, and Bria DeLaude gets into the 9, turns her into the outside wall. And I think the 9 car gets shunted by the 23.
Oh, boy.
Looks like that is sort of separate, but the 9 was slowed up from that previous incident,
Yeah.
so... 9 car is out of the race from that, so...
Just a very long chain reaction. Why did I say that with such a southern accent? Jesus Christ.
It is Kentucky after all.
True. That's a long chain reaction.
Long chain reaction. Well, we'll see. It looks like the 46 is going to take the wave around 4 cars in between the top 10, though. So the 46 car will get a lap back just based on that. So if there's another yellow, that really could help her. That could help her get back on the lead lap if she's able to get by the 31. Who's the only other car 1 lap down right now. I think the 62 is halting damage repair due to pace car.
Might be a fair assumption.
So, Abriella and Jetta, Talberson, Reister, Rugatino, Stoneman, Waterton, McJasmina, Alicantes, Gennaro. And Vancy will also get waived here, so the 1 car will get one of her 3 laps back. Unfortunate timing, because the 82 is the one right behind the 42. That's, well, the 82 is 12 laps down. And, well, not anywhere close to having leader's pace, but I guess if it's still running, you might as well keep it going. For Marisha Vebels, I mean, clearly that car just didn't have enough fuel to get to the end here, so she's in 14th. She's gonna have to make her way up through a lot of the field here if she wants a shot at this win. Abriella and Jetta and Talberson, Reister, and Rugatino, the top 5. As we're gonna go back to green here from Kentucky. Here we go. And yep, just as I expected, the 82 is holding up pretty much everyone. 99 getting really stacked up behind the 82. Finally, she'll go underneath, I think.
Look at the 17.
Here comes
Trying to go for
Reister.
second.
What a move by the 17 car.
How about Watterson and 13 back up in here?
Both
Oh,
of
don't
those-
go 4 wide. Don't go 4 wide.
They're going for wide, but they're somehow making it work. I don't know how that didn't end. I don't know how that didn't end
Wow.
badly.
Oh. They're acting like they want to try it again back there.
I mean, they're trying. Okay, Waterton up here, Reister up here, the only two drivers left that have attempted most of the races this season without scoring a top 10 finish. Both on track to do so. I think Marisha's a little upset. You think she might be upset about getting held up by the 82 like that?
I would not doubt it.
There's a bunch of dirt that was thrown up on the back straightaway. How about the 98 of Eva Jarsaraj? She's just shown up here. Up into 10th, battling with the
Okay.
39. We got a battle for the lead. Here comes Waterton.
Watterton.
Here comes the 10 of Stoneman.
I'm pretty sure still looking for their first lap led on the day.
She's close.
Almost had it that time around, but Watterton's going to hang on for the time being.
How about McJasmine up into 5th spot? That car is
Hey.
she got a good stop, and now she's up here once again. Looks like the 99 is probably going to catch back up to this group. 71 has been on pit road for quite a while. It might have been the 71. Rasha, what is going on the 26 of Chantilly?
Yeah, Echo, we were checking back on the 26 of Chantilly there about that engine issue on under caution, I believe. It was some sort of issue with the valve timing on that car. That's the reason why you saw the smoke coming out of that. I think something got completely wrong with that, and that's something that'll end the 26's day, I'm pretty sure. And yeah, a really good run by that 26, kind of just ruined by that one, by that issue late on in the race for them.
Here comes the 10 car going for the lead. Audie Stoneman looking for her first lap led today. Remember, she started on the pole. She hasn't led one bit today. That's gonna... The last time she saw the front of the field was coming to the green flag.
Whoa,
She's gonna see it this
split the
time.
60.
60 is really slow.
Oh, man.
That's gonna hold up to 20.
Ooh. Oh, hang on to it. Hang on to it.
They got it. They got it.
We're good. For now, at least.
For now. That's the key word there. Ooh, contact with Parkings and Talberson there. That's the fight for 10th. You got Waterton looking underneath Stoneman here.
You see, we're honestly kind of trying to check out a little bit from the rest of the field.
They're doing it so far. Hey, Angeli Rugatino up here in the 3rd position. McJasmina sitting in 4th. Ariella's dropped back to 5th, but still got a good chance at winning this. There's Sky and Jetta in 6th. Fighting with the 17.
Seeing a couple of our dominant cars trying to make it come back here in the late stages.
Yeah, here comes Waterton for the race lead.
For the lead.
Needless to say, I think MBYW has found the race pace in this one.
Mm-hmm.
They've been good at qualifying this year, but they just haven't been good at finishing the races and getting finishes out of them. But Waterton in this race has left no doubt in anybody's mind that They have cars that can compete. Remember, that team does get equipment from Evans Ross Racing, the other Mercedes team, so
Got the 82 coming up ahead once again.
10-car crosses
it's
over.
gonna cross her over.
They're going to catch the 82. And the 82 is going to hold up both of them, I think.
Oh, the 13 more so. Here comes
13's
McJasmine.
going to be the worst off. 6-car made contact with the 13 there. Hey, if you're wondering on that Vebels update, she has climbed up. She's 14th. She's battling with Talberson and Ajarsa right now, right here. This is a 3-wide battle. Abriella's up here now. How about the 20? She's gotten back up to this part of the field. There's the 13. There's the 96.
Yeah.
31 Taylor Haberman is actually a lap down, but if a caution is to come out, she would get the free pass to get back on the lead lap. Does anybody want to put that 82 out of its misery yet? What is she, 13 laps down now? No damage that car has, just no engine, pretty much. Whoa! 6-car checked
sideways.
up. 6-car checked up. The 13 almost got into her because of it. As Periella Contes has moved into 6th spot, past Reister.
Monty Hondayo back up here in the top 10.
Yeah, one Dio. Haven't really heard a lot from her today. But up into 8th now. As the 62, I believe, has apparently come down the pit road. I don't know if that car is having an issue or what, but that car looks like it's got a lot of damage on it, so here comes Waterton for second on Abriella. As they'll catch the 60 again. I can't believe we've managed to roll a lap car slower than the 82. I didn't even think that was possible. Oh, the 10 had to slow up. They all split the 60 there, but not in the way I think they wanted to.
3 wide, rolling up on the 60. This could get a bit tight.
Here we go. Battle for the lead. 13 on the 10. They are 3 wide back there, rolling on the 60. That's incredible. Waterton back out front. She won the Daytona 500 pole. And that's been about the highlight of her season so far. It's really been all that can be said about the 13 this season is she won the pole. Bevels has gotten by Angetta there, so move the 99 up to 9th.
Team looking to check the rest of the check boxes off. Get a win, get a top 5, and get a top 10 all in one swoop.
And get in the playoffs.
Yeah.
A win would save everything for that 13 car. And here comes Stoneman.
He's rolled up on the 82 once again.
That's a 93, actually.
Oh. Alrighty then.
I think Marisha's driving mad.
Yeah, I wouldn't blame her.
She's managed to do quite a bit of work to get up here. 93 gonna hold up the 13 here. Not gonna hold her up too bad though.
Ooh, trying to go for the gap through the middle.
Try to go for the gap to the middle. I think it'll play out.
Barely gonna get by there.
Whoa, they're 3 wide.
Whoa, boy.
McJasmina and Rugatino have gone underneath that 13. I don't even really think that's attached to the, that's not even really attached to getting behind the 93. I think that's just the 13 went high, and these two just got a good run of momentum on the bottom.
Yeah. Devils back there going after Huandayo for 8th.
Devils has been closing pretty much every lap. When she's running by herself, she's been closing on the leaders pretty consistently. She's coming. I don't know if she'll get there by the time this race is over, but she is on her way.
We could maybe have a shot if she can keep this up, and if the leaders maybe start battling here.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah, I definitely don't think they're done battling.
she actually closed that time by 0.3, so I do think she had a little bit of help from the draft of the 93, but still, you cannot count that 99 out just yet. McJasmina trying for 4th again.
Right, 20 to go this time by.
20 laps remain in this one. That's the fight between the 6 and the 13 for 4th. And yeah, Marisha did gain again. The 18 and 17 are closing in, and I think the 99 has just a bit of a draft off the 17 to where she can close in off of her as well. They're catching the 82. They've all single filed out, so they should be able to get by the 82 okay. Unless you're the 13 and you do that for whatever reason.
Whoa!
Out of the lead.
Don't like that.
Here it comes. 20 car. Abriella looking for it. Here comes Rugatino. They're going to catch the 60 again as well. Here comes the 96 of Rugatino.
Boy.
What's her play? Oh, they couldn't split the 60. 20
look
just
out.
didn't have enough room.
Oh, that's gonna bunch all these back up.
Everybody's going to get bunched up here. The 10's going to get held up.
And here comes Vevelst.
Here comes the 99. She's here. She's caught. She is in this mix now. She'll definitely have enough time.
Yeah, I think she
96.
definitely will.
Rugatino out front. Waterton fighting Abriella for 2nd. McJasmina, Alicantes, 4th and 5th. Then the fight for 6th is here between Vevelst and Reister.
What's gonna clear the 17 there, gonna move up into the 6th position here. And yeah, this 99 might just be the fastest car on the racetrack right now. She continues to close in to our race leaders as she continues to march up through the field.
She is on a mission. 4th place at hand. 18 and 6. That's Alicantes and McJasmina. Might turn into a battle for 5th if the 99 closes in. Hey, guess what? We're going to get that battle we saw at the start all the time.
Hey, here we go.
Very key one. Vevelst trying to get by McJasmina. And these cars are all closing in on the leaders. 3 cars. All right there. Oh, the 6 cars just slid up a little bit. Here comes the 13 for the race lead. And watch as the 99's gotten up here. She's up into 5th now. Waterton trying to take the lead from Rugatino, and she will clear for it. Off of 2, the 13 out front.
And maybe going side by side for 2nd here with the 96 and 20, but the 96 Gonna drive it in there to 3 and 4. Actually ran the corner pretty well. Could maybe get a run here on the 13 coming down the front straightaway, but
There's gonna be
like I mentioned, here comes Mauricia Vebels now up into 5th. That 99 is still absolutely flying and showing no signs of slowing down.
Oh, the 20!
Oh, the 20's blown up!
It's blown up from 3rd. Oh, unfortunate for the Team Flurvent driver. Gabriella's needed some good luck, and that is just the opposite. Late in the going, and heartbreak for Gabriella.
Oh, boy. I guess lucky for everybody else, she is going to make it back into the pits. But that is such a heartbreak for the 20.
She was battling for the lead. She led quite a few laps there. We're now coming to our windows, 11 to go, and there's 4 cars all at the front. Waterton, Rugatino, Alicantes, Vebels, all within a second of the lead. Stoneman, McJasmina, Reister, Wandayo, and Jetta, and Talberson, the rest of the top 10. This is going to get down to it here in the final 11 laps. They may catch another lap car here in the 62. The 18 of Alicante is looking underneath the 96.
And here we go for second. Waterton getting past the 62 there.
18,
up
I think
front as these two go side by side here for second.
they're going to try to pin. I think the 18 is going to try to pin the 96 behind the 62. Is it going to work? Yes, it is. And the 99 is caught up here.
Oh, going for third as well.
Vebels slips it just barely underneath the 96 here. See if she can keep it on the inside in 3 and 4. She does, but the 96 gets a good run off.
Looks like there might be another lap car up the road, though. Could potentially
it's
throw
the
a wrench in the
60
things.
again.
It's a 60. Here comes the 10 as well.
The 10's just driven up here. I shuffled back a little while ago, but she's back up here.
13 probably caught the 60 at the best possible time. The 18 maybe the worst. Oh, look at this 10.
Look at the
To
10
inside
make the
of-
move.
Oh, for third.
What a move by Stoneman there. And she absolutely surprised the 96 and the 99, caught them both sleeping. And the 13 is starting to pull away a little bit.
I think Stoneman just kind of caught us all off guard there. That 10. That 99's been coming alive here in the later stage of this race, but that 10, honestly, might be on rails right now. We'll have to see if that 10 can close in, maybe pass the 18 for second here, which it looks like she just might. Vebel's finally going to get by the 96 there for fourth.
6 to go. Do these drivers have enough? Vebels has driven her way all the way back up here, up to 4th place. Having to pit from just not having enough fuel to make it to the end on that last yellow. Here comes Stoneman underneath for second.
Stoneman.
It might not be enough. They might not have enough time to catch the 13, though. They might, though.
This tank. Oh, we have quite a bit of lap traffic ahead.
71 and the 82. 82 is going to be the annoying one. 0.8 of a second now, the gap between the 13 and the 18. Waterton. Trying to hang on. What a way to get your first top 10 would be to win, and the 99's out of fuel!
Oh, they're running out of fuel!
She didn't have enough. 18 held up by the 82. Now,
They
does
didn't
any of
get
the
enough in it.
do any of these drivers have enough?
Coming to 2 laps to go here.
Oh, they're crashing
Oh,
in the back. The
pitting.
21's
Look
around.
out!
They're
And
pitting.
they're pitting.
Caution is out. That's the race. That's it. Oh,
Oh,
big crash.
Oh no!
Huge crash to end this race.
What in the world just happened?
And Waterton's got to make it around 2 more laps here.
Whoa, I think it's safe to say Vebelst might be a little bit upset. Oh, we got more coming down pit lane.
1772. I think those are cars that had
Oh,
damage.
they're damaged. Yeah.
Well, this race it will end under the yellow flag here. Flurry of activity. These cars could not. The cars just couldn't make it to pit road, and they wrecked trying to avoid the cars that were coming down. And that was going to result in the race ending under caution. As long as this 13 can hang on, as long as the 13 doesn't run out of fuel here, she will have this race won.
Looking for their first top 10, first top 5. After getting on our first win of the season. All tonight, all in one swoop. It's shaping up to be a big night for that 13 team.
As long as she can hang on here under the caution flag. Alicante is going to come home a respectable 2nd. Great run for Angetta to be 3rd. Talberson 4th. Handstrom's going to be 5th. Tabrizia Tolerone's going to get her first top 10 finish since Calder Park with a 6th place. Nahale's going to come home 7th after all of that. The points leader's going to extend her lead. Garnston's going to be 8th. Yatica and Reister. Reister's pitting again, but it's not going to matter. Yania Waterton wins in Kentucky.
Let's go. Wasn't that 27 a lap down at some point? It's like not too long ago.
Yeah, she was a lap down.
Impressive.
Well, gonna get an export here, just because I should probably do that before we look at the final before we look at what happened there. But wow, I don't know what happened there. Just absolutely absurd ending to this race.
I think we've got quite a bit to look at here.
Well, Amani Wandayo was the one who spun around. Spun around that kicked this off. Looks like the 16, the 17, and the 21 were all racing back here. I think they're all pulling up to not run into cars pitting. And yeah, the 21 just cuts people off. Everyone here gets stacked up. Yoniga gets into Malikson. Jeez. Just an absolute pile up. Even more cars involved in this. The 64's in this.
I don't even think we're done either. I think it might have even continued down the front stretch.
The 23 goes
Oh,
upside
goodness.
down.
Wow. Oh, jeez.
52 spins.
Rachel Cole.
I don't know if the 52 spins trying to dodge.
I think might have plowed into the 62.
Oh, it was the 62,
and,
yeah.
yeah.
And the
Oh,
93.
yep, and then even more.
93 spins here. I think she just clips the 23.
Sama.
Yep, Tosima just clips 93. I don't know what the 42's doing, but she went
Okay,
down the
sure.
grass. 98 went down the grass.
Just absolute pandemonium during this race.
Absolutely crazy ending. But, you know what? I think that, especially Yania Waterton, I think she'll definitely take that. And you're probably all curious. The lead change number was 62, so not as much of a lead change number as we've seen in prior events here at Kentucky, but still a very exciting race, still drama all the way down to the very end. First time we've ended a race under caution in AWSCO in either series, so a bit of an unfortunate way to end that one, but still a very enjoyable race. What did you think of that one, Caleb?
Yeah, that was a very fun race from start to finish, of course. Like I said, we've seen a lot of comers and goers throughout the night, and yeah, just overall, a lot of great racing, a lot of passing throughout the night, and some great strategy in play as well, and of course, quite a bit of chaos to look back at, but yeah, that was a really fun race here from Kentucky, and really nice to see Waterton go to victory lane there. Like I said, finally not only getting their first top 10 of the season, but also checking off a top 5, and even a win in the process.
Yeah, and a great job by a lot of drivers that kind of haven't shown themselves a lot this season. Obviously, Waterton getting her first top 10 and win all at the same time. Sky and Jetta finishing 3rd. Great run for her. Tolaron finishing in 6th. That's a good run for her because she came in literally dead last in points. She hadn't scored a top 20 finish since Denver, actually. And it's only her it's only her 3rd top 20 of the season. So it's been a really rough year for Tolaron. And Nihale with a 7th place finish to pad her points lead. We didn't really see anything of that 64 all day, and at the very end, she just shows up and manages a 7th place. I think that speaks about how things have been going for the 64 car lately. All right, well, for that, the post-race show, I think we will be sending this down to. We'll let you dial into the studio, Caleb, with Rasha, and Rasha, can you take it away for our post-race show here from Kentucky?
Yeah, welcome back to the studio, everyone. High drama here at Kentucky as Yania Waterton finally makes good of MBYW space, taking home the win here at Kentucky. First race finish under caution in any AWSCO series, and what a caution that was to cause the race to end under caution. I will say that was a major incident. As I said, I think a big stack up happened with cars coming into pit lane. A lot of cars trying to move out of the way. It was just a bit of a mess. I don't think it helped that it happened late in the race. Everyone's kind of a little bit out of focus. We're 2.5 hours in, and things are just, when something like that happens, it's just kind of a bit of a mess. And yeah, but that doesn't I don't think that took away much from the rest of the race, which was really, really good. I think, as Kayla put it, there were a lot of comers and goers. I mean, so we're moving up and down the pack all the way throughout the race. Can I just mention the night that our 5th place finisher, the 19 of Arlen Hanstrom, that is a car that I do not think we mentioned once in this broadcast. I certainly didn't remember the 19 showing up in the broadcast. So that's a car that kind of just showed up and got a top 5 out of nowhere. I would say that basically for the entire second half of the top 10 as well. Those are all just like cars that appeared because of that ending. How should I say at the end? A little kerfuffle we had at the end there. But yeah, Caleb, I mean, a lot of good racing, I think. On the short runs, on the long runs, cars moving up and down everywhere. It was action-packed everywhere throughout the field, and yeah, it was just I think it was just a really exciting race, right?
Definitely an absolutely action-packed, exciting race, and yeah, that was definitely a lot of fun. Like but there's a lot of comers and goers, a lot of great passing, and honestly, a lot of great moments as well throughout the entirety of the race. And yeah, just overall a fantastic showing tonight here from Kentucky. And really happy to have been up here to call that one. So yeah, thank you all so much for having me up here. That was a lot of fun.
Yeah, I think so. It's just one of those. I think the race was just really fun in terms of the way the racing how do I say this, manifested, I would say. Yeah, I mean, we had good long run racing. Everyone's just and cars moving up and down the pack. As I said before, let's see. Let's keep taking. If we take a look at down kind of the rest of the field, I would say another good recovery run goes to the 92 of Michele Yatica. That's a driver that had issues early on with those suspension problems. Kind of fell a lap down early on, but stayed out and kind of just kept muscling through all those incidents at the beginning of in the middle of the race, and found herself in a position to take a top 10 at the end. I mean, I think a lot of those cars in the top 10 can attest to, it's just a matter of, can you just be, just gotta be there at the right time. And I think part of that ending was just kind of, if you were, and with the way the ending played out, we won't know for sure, I guess, whether or not the 13, 18, 16 could have made it if it went green all the way. But that's just the way the cookie crumbles sometimes. You don't have to know. And the 13 was just able to hang on and get that win there. So congratulations to the 13 of Yanniyo Waterton and to MBYW Motorsports on their first win in AWSCO. And if you have any final thoughts on the race, Caleb, before we take a little detour to look at the rest of the calendar.
I guess not much to be said other than what has been said already. Like I said, just a fantastic race here tonight from Kentucky, and an absolutely spectacular showing for a lot of these drivers, especially Waterton, getting themselves and the team's first win here in AWSCO. But really fun night here tonight from Kentucky, and definitely cannot wait to see how the next couple of races will play out.
Yeah, I would say so. I mean, our next race is Charlotte, so that'll be a race.
Oh boy,
that'll be a fun race. I mean, 1.5 mile racing at this in AWSCO is already chaotic enough, and that Charlotte is, I think, a special track. I think in terms of the racing. I mean, we always see stock car racing at Charlotte to be a really good show, and I wouldn't expect anything less. And of course, this is the Dr. Pepper 600. This is a massive event, and it'll be a real endurance test. Which, speaking of, we have to touch on the mechanical failures. With the amount of problems he had, mechanical issues in a 400-mile race, how do you think these teams are going to have to cope with a 600-mile event like Charlotte? That one is going to take a long time for cars. That's going to be a real test for everybody, on the cars, on the teams, on the drivers. It's going to be a real challenge for everyone. This might be the biggest race for the teams, I think, since the 500, really. Caleb, what do you think of the challenge that'll be posed to the teams in this race?
I think especially with it being a 600-miler, I think Charlotte is definitely going to be a huge race of attrition, especially if we kind of carry over like all the mechanical failures and everything that we just saw here tonight here in a 400-mile race. So, yeah, I think we could definitely maybe expect quite a handful of mechanical failures in Charlotte. If things do continue how they do, these teams definitely need to try and potentially work on some things, hammer some things up before going into that race, or else we might definitely see maybe quite a few cars go down with mechanical failures, kind of like how we saw here tonight. So, yeah, definitely looking forward to seeing how it will go from Charlotte. Definitely going to be interesting to watch who will outlast the rest of the field.
Yeah, pretty much. And actually, if we take a look at the schedule beyond Charlotte, I mean, then we have a real mess, I would say, in terms of the track variety. We have a bunch of road courses, and then Michigan in the middle of it for some reason. It's Montreal and Mosport, two cracks in Canada. We then return back to Michigan, return back to the States momentarily for Michigan, and then we head over to Mexico City for the race at the Autodromo Hermanos Rodriguez for what is basically a road course stretch, I guess. And then, of course, coming up at the end of that, there's also the Daytona Road Course and a little special event, the iRacing AWSCO All-Star Race at Coca-Cola. That'll be a real fun event. That'll be a real fun event. We're running on a 3-mile oval. I'm sure that'll be a joy for everyone, including the drivers.
Yeah, definitely.
All right, and with that, I don't think there's much else we can really touch upon in this race. So, I think it's a good time to wrap things up now and send it over back to Echo, hopefully for the broadcast closing here, and her last thoughts. Will take it away, Echo. I'll call back in from the studio here. Hello.
Yeah, and a very fun race tonight. I thought this was a great race, and we've got even more great mile-and-a-half racing coming up next week from the Charlotte Motor Speedway for the Dr. Pepper 600. That one should be a blast. We've also got the Continental Series from Charlotte next week. It's our final real showing before we get to our big road course swing in the middle of the season. So that'll be fun. All right, I hope you all enjoyed this broadcast. I'm Echo. On behalf of Caleb and Rasha, thank you all for tuning into AWSCO Windows Cup Series action here from the Kentucky Speedway. Have a good night.